We just got to hope that Bex doesn't find us. That's all. But apart from that, welcome everyone. Dave was first. There you go. Hey, yeah. Fuck, you made it. Hey, Bex. How are you? Nice to see you, my darling. Sarah P made it finally. There's Spacey Stacy. Hippie chicks here. Here they are. The ladies are here. Lady Di is the one missing now, and then we'll be Hippie chick, Lady Di, Spacey Stacy, walking those streets all night. You go, ladies, come and see what's going on now. Let's go, girls. Jonathan's here. Yeah, Trucker got you first. There you go. There you go. Lady Di is missing. Jugs is missing as well. Jen is missing today. I hope she's okay. Oh, here she is. So this is it's already happened. So do not Google things. This has already happened. It's a kidnapping trial and it's already happened. So please don't be nosy bitches for once in your life. Just don't go Googling anything. Don't look anything. For once in my life, please stop being nosy. Stop being nosy bitches for once in your lives. Oh, has he? Fields been traded to the Chiefs to back up Mahomes. Thank you, Dave. I did not know that. Thank you, Dave. I'll have to make a video on that then. Appreciate you for that, Dave. News. Right. Hang on then. Let me check something here. X. Dave is back. Guess who's back? Dave is back. Okay, so I'm going to do something for my other channel very quickly. Hello, Toots, and then I will come back here. So obviously I'm going to speak to the camera right now, but it's nothing to do with this trial. It means I can then copy this, clip it, and then obviously use it. So breaking news, as we know, the Jets have traded QB Justin Fields to the Chiefs for a 2027 6th-round pick. That is great news for Justin Fields. That's a great new start for him. New backup for Patrick Mahomes, and a new start for Justin Fields under the Andy Reid tutorship, and I think that will serve him well. There you go. New trade happens right here, right now. There you go. Happy days, done it. I don't know in the CG. I don't know. I think it's in this trial, so we'll see now. Right. Let me start this trial for you all. And I could go edit some stuff then for that. What time was that? 3 minutes. Okay, fine. So this is, as I say, do not go looking for this, because you'll find out the verdict. You spoil it for yourselves. So this is the opening statements right now. So I'm going to do the opening statements for you. Oops, no. Oops, no, don't start. Hang on. Share screen. Then I'll put it up. Then we'll get started at the stage.
About this case. Do not research any information that you personally think might be helpful to you in understanding the issues presented. Do not investigate this case on your own or visit the scene, either in person or by any electronic means. Do not read any newspaper reports or listen to any news reports on the radio, television, over the internet, or any other electronic application or tool about this trial. Do not consult dictionaries, computers, electronic applications, social media, the internet, or other reference materials for additional information. Do not seek information regarding the public records of any party or witness in this case. Any information you obtain outside the courtroom could be misleading, inaccurate, or incomplete. Relying on this information is unfair because the parties would not have the opportunity to refute, explain, or correct it. Do not communicate with anyone about this trial or your experience as a juror while you are serving on this jury. Do not use computer, cell phone, or other electronic device, including personal wearable electronics, applications, or tools with communication capabilities to share any information about this case. For example, do not communicate by telephone, blog post, email, text message, instant message, social media post, or in any other way on or off the computer. Do not permit anyone to communicate with you about this matter, either in person, electronically, or by any other means. If anyone does so despite your telling them not to, you should report that to me right away. I appreciate that it's tempting when you go home in the evening to discuss a case with another member of your household, but you may not do so. This case must be decided by you, the jurors, based on the evidence presented in the courtroom. People not serving on this jury have not heard the evidence, and it is improper for them to influence your deliberations and decision in this case. After this trial is completed, you're free to communicate with anyone in any manner. These rules are intended to assure that jurors remain impartial throughout the trial. If any juror has reason to believe that another juror has violated these rules, you should report that to me right away. If jurors do not comply with these rules, it could result in a new trial involving additional time and significant expense to the parties and taxpayers. You are to decide the case solely on the evidence offered and received at trial. Evidence is, first, the sworn testimony of witnesses, both on direct and cross-examination, regardless of who called the witness. Second, the exhibits the court has received, whether or not an exhibit goes to the jury room. Third, any facts to which the lawyers have agreed or stipulated or which the court has directed you to find. Attorneys and pro se defendants have the right and the duty to object to what they consider are improper questions asked of witnesses and to the admission of other evidence they believe is not properly admissible. You should not draw any conclusions from the fact an objection was made. By allowing testimony or other evidence to be received over the objection of parties, the court is not indicating any opinion about the evidence. You jurors are the judges of the credibility of the witnesses and of the weight of the evidence. You're not required to, but you may take notes during this trial, except during the opening statements and closing arguments. The court will provide you with materials. In taking notes, you must be careful that it does not distract you from carefully listening to and observing the witnesses. You may rely on your notes to refresh your memory during your deliberations, otherwise keep them confidential. After the trial, the notes will be collected and destroyed. You will not have a copy of the written transcript of the trial testimony available for use during your deliberations. You should pay careful attention to all the testimony because you must rely primarily on your memory of the evidence and the testimony introduced during the trial. During the course of a trial, the parties may refer to or use police reports with witnesses. Normally, these police reports will not be provided to you. If you're not provided with a police report, you should use your collective memory regarding any reference to police reports. It is the duty of the jury to scrutinize and to weigh the testimony of witnesses and to determine the effect of the evidence as a whole. You are the sole judges of the credibility, that is, the believability of the witnesses and of the weight to be given to their testimony. In your determination of credibility, you must avoid bias, conscious or unconscious, based on the witness's race, national origin, religion, age, ability, gender identity, sexual orientation, education, income level, or any other personal characteristic. In determining the credibility of each witness and the weight you give to the testimony of each witness, consider these factors. Whether the witness has an interest or lack of interest in the result of this trial, the witness's conduct, appearance, and demeanor on the witness stand, the clearness or lack of clearness of the witness's recollections, the opportunity the witness had for observing, for knowing the matters the witness testified about, the reasonableness of the witness's testimony, the apparent intelligence of the witness, bias or prejudice, if any has been shown, possible motives for falsifying testimony, and all their facts and circumstances during the trial which tend either to support or to discredit the testimony. Then give to the testimony of each witness the weight you believe it should receive. There is no magic way for you to evaluate the testimony. Instead, you should use your common sense and experience. In everyday life, you determine for yourselves the reliability of things people say to you. You should do the same thing here. The first count of the information in this case charges that on or about November 23, 2022 at 3137 West Rawson Avenue in the city of Franklin, Milwaukee County, Wisconsin, that the defendant by threat of imminent force did confine BAH without her consent and with intent to cause her to be secretly confined. To this charge, the defendant entered a plea of not guilty, which means the state must prove every element of the offense charged beyond a reasonable doubt. Kidnapping, as defined in Section 940-31(1)B of the Criminal Code of Wisconsin, is committed by one who, by force or threat of imminent force, seizes or confines another person without consent and with intent to cause her to be secretly confined or imprisoned. Before you may find the defendant guilty of this offense, the state must prove by evidence which satisfies you beyond a reasonable doubt that the following four elements were present. 1, the defendant seized or confined BAH. 2, the defendant seized or confined BAH without her consent. 3, the defendant seized or confined BAH forcibly. And 4, the defendant seized or confined BAH with intent that BAH be secretly confined. You cannot look into a person's mind to find out intent. Intent must be found, if found at all, from the defendant's acts, words, and statements, if any, and from all the facts and circumstances in this case bearing upon intent. Although this requires genuine restraint or confinement, it does not require that it be in a jail or prison. If the defendant deprived BAH of freedom of movement or compelled her to remain where she did not wish to remain, then BAH was confined or restrained. The use of physical force is not required. One may be confined or restrained by acts or words or both. A person is not confined or restrained if she knew she could have avoided by taking reasonable action. A reasonable opportunity to escape does not change confinement or restraint that has occurred. Forcibly means that the defendant actually used force or threatened the use of imminent force to overcome or to prevent BAH's resistance to being confined. Imminent means near at hand or on the point of happening. Forcibly includes the use of or threat to use force directed at BAH if that use of or threat to use of force results in the confining of BAH. If you're satisfied beyond a reasonable doubt that all four elements of this offense have been proved, you should find the defendant guilty. If you're not so satisfied, you must find the defendant not guilty. The second count of the information charges that on or about November 24, 2022 at 3233 South 27th Street in the city of Milwaukee, Milwaukee County, Wisconsin, that the defendant did intentionally possess with intent to use personal identifying information of BAH to obtain anything of value without the prior authorization of that person. To this charge, the defendants enter a plea of not guilty, which means that the state must prove every element of the offense charged beyond a reasonable doubt. Section 943-2012 of the Criminal Code of Wisconsin is violated by one who intentionally uses, attempts to use, or possesses with intent to use any personal identifying information or personal identification document of an individual, including a deceased individual, to obtain credit, money, goods, services, employment, or anything else of value or benefit without the authorization or consent of the individual, and by representing that he is acting with the authorization or consent of the individual. Before you may find the defendant guilty of this offense, the state must prove by evidence which satisfies you beyond a reasonable doubt that the following four elements are present. 1, the defendant intentionally used or attempted to use or possessed with intent to use personal identifying information or a personal identification document of BAH. Personal identification document means a document containing personal identifying information, an individual's card or plate that can be used to obtain money, goods, services, or any other things of value or benefit, or to initiate a transfer of funds, any device that is unique to, assigned to, or belongs to an individual and is intended to be used to access services, funds, or benefits of any kind to which the individual is entitled. 2, the defendant intentionally used or attempted to use or possessed with intent to use personal identifying information or a personal identification document of BAH to obtain credit, money, goods, services, employment, or anything else of value or benefit. 3, the defendant acted without the authorization or consent of BAH and knew that BAH did not consent or, did not give authorization or consent. 4, the defendant intentionally represented that he was acting with the authorization or consent of BAH or the information or document belonged to him. Intentionally requires that the defendant had the mental purpose to obtain credit, money, goods, services, employment, or anything else of value or benefit by using personal identifying information or a personal identification document of BAH without BAH's consent or authorization. If you're satisfied beyond a reasonable doubt that all four elements of this offense have been proved, you should find the defendant guilty. If you're not so satisfied, you must find the defendant not guilty. The third count of the information charges that on or about November 29, 2022 at 3530 West Rawson Avenue in the city of Franklin, Milwaukee County, Wisconsin, that the defendant did intentionally obstruct an officer while such officer was doing an act in an official capacity and with lawful authority. To this charge, the defendant entered a plea of not guilty, which means the state must prove every element of the offense charged beyond a reasonable doubt. Obstructing an officer is defined in 94641 of the Criminal Code of Wisconsin is committed by one who knowingly obstructs an officer while the officer is doing an act in an official capacity and with lawful authority. Before you may find the defendant guilty of this offense, the state must prove by evidence which satisfies you beyond a reasonable doubt that the following four elements are present. 1, the defendant obstructed an officer. To obstruct an officer means that the conduct of the defendant prevents or makes more difficult the performance of the officer's duties. 2, the officer was doing an act in an official capacity. Officers act in an official capacity when they perform duties that they are employed to perform. 3, the officer was acting with lawful authority. Officers act with lawful authority if their acts are conducted in accordance with the law. And 4, the defendant knew that the officer was an officer acting in an official capacity and with lawful authority, and that the defendant knew his conduct would obstruct the officer. You cannot look into a person's mind to find knowledge. Knowledge must be found, if found at all, from the defendant's acts, words, and statements, if any, and from all the facts and circumstances in this case bearing upon knowledge. If you're satisfied beyond a reasonable doubt that all four elements of this offense have been proved, you should find the defendant guilty. If you're not so satisfied, you must find the defendant not guilty. The fourth count of information charges that beginning November 28, 2022, and ending November 29, 2022 at 7251 South 35th Street in the city of Franklin, Milwaukee County, Wisconsin, that the defendant did intentionally enter a building without the consent of the person in lawful possession of the place and with intent to steal. The fifth count of information charges that on or about November 19, 2022 and ending November 29, 2022 at 7271 South 35th Street in the city of Franklin, Milwaukee County, Wisconsin, that the defendant did intentionally enter a motorized type of home without consent of the person in lawful possession of the motorized type of home and with intent to steal, whether or not any person was living in such home. To these charges, the defendants entered pleas of not guilty, which means the state must prove every element of the offense charged beyond a reasonable doubt. Burglary, as defined in 943.10.1M of the Criminal Code of Wisconsin, is committed by one who intentionally enters a building without the consent of the person in lawful possession and with intent to steal. Okay, members of the jury, I'm going to send you back to the jury room. In reading the jury instruction, I think I may have missed something. I want to make sure that I have it correct, and I'll bring you back in. These are preliminary instructions, and hence the name preliminary. They may change, and they often do change with the final jury instructions, but in reading this out loud, I'm going to double check something here, and then I'll bring you back in to finish reading the rest of the jury instructions, the preliminary jury instructions to you. Okay? Thank you. I remind everyone that this case is not concluded. Do not talk about this case and do not conduct your own research. I'll see you in about 5 minutes or less. Okay, last one, please close the door. Okay, we're outside the presence of the jury. In my reading of 1421 out loud and the charge as to count 5, which is a motorized home, I'm second guessing whether I pulled the correct jury instruction. I know there's 1420, 1421, and maybe 1422. So let's go off the record. I'm going to pull those up and then read it through, and we'll come back on the record. Okay, we're back on the record and pulling up Wisconsin Statute 943-10-1M and cross-referencing that to jury instructions. I believe whether it's sub E or sub A. Now, sub A is the burglary of a building or dwelling, and the sub E is the burglary of a motor trailer home. I'm only pulling up 1421. And I believe what I have is correct. State?
I'm looking.
Yeah, Attorney Wasilewski?
I would direct your attention to note 2, which talks about adapting it depending on whether we're dealing with a building or dwelling or a railroad car or a ship. There's a list of things, and the first one is building, and I think the 5th one, if I'm not mistaken, is the motorized type of home or trailer home or motor home. Pardon? This is a legal matter for the court and helping the court get it.
I think it's for the preliminary instructions. I think it's fine.
Sorry, that took ages.
It's just whether it's a dwelling, garage.
Okay, we'll read the elements for those 2 counts and point out which ties to which. The 4th count of the information charges that beginning November 28, 2022 and ending November 29, 2022 at 7251 South 35th Street in the city of Franklin, Milwaukee County, Wisconsin, that the defendant did intentionally enter a building without the consent of the person in lawful possession of the place and with intent to steal. The 5th count and the information charges that on or about November 19, 2022 and ending November 29, 2022 at 7271 South 35th Street in the city of Franklin, Milwaukee County, Wisconsin, that the defendant did intentionally enter a motorized type of home without consent of the person in lawful possession of the motorized type of home and with intent to steal, whether or not any person was living in such home. To these charges, the defendant has entered pleas of not guilty, which means the state must prove every element of the offenses charged beyond a reasonable doubt. Burglary, as defined in 943-10-1M of the Criminal Code of Wisconsin, is committed by one who intentionally enters a building or motorized type of home without the consent of the person in lawful possession and with intent to steal. Before you may find the defendant guilty of these offenses, the state must prove by evidence which satisfies you beyond a reasonable doubt that the following elements were present. As to count 4, the first element is the defendant intentionally entered a building. As to count 5, the element is the defendant intentionally entered a motorized type of home. Number 2, the defendant entered the building without the consent of the person in lawful possession, as to count 4. As to count 5, the defendant entered the building, strike that, the defendant entered motorized type of home without the consent of the person in lawful possession. Number 3, the defendant knew that the entry was without consent. Number 4, the defendant entered the building with intent to steal. As to count 5, the defendant entered the motorized type of home with intent to steal. Intent to steal requires that the defendant had the mental purpose to take and carry away movable property of another without consent, and that the defendant intended to deprive the owner permanently of possession of the property. The intent to steal must be formed before an entry is made. The intent to steal, which is an essential element of burglary, is no more or less than the mental purpose to steal formed at any time before the entry, which continue to exist at the time of the entry. You cannot look into a person's mind to find intent and knowledge. Intent and knowledge must be found, if found at all, from the defendant's acts, words, and statements, if any, and from all the facts and circumstances in this case bearing upon intent and knowledge. If you are satisfied beyond a reasonable doubt that the elements of these offenses have been proved, you should find the defendant guilty. If you're not so satisfied, you must find the defendant not guilty. In reaching your verdict, examine the evidence with care and caution. Act with judgment are not evidence. At this time, State, I'm going to have you proceed first with your opening statement.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And again, I appreciate you being here, and I appreciate your patience for the next few days as we go through all this evidence. Excuse me. We're here today to talk about Mr. Timothy Olson. An opening statement is what I like to refer to as a roadmap, what I expect the evidence to show, and walk you through how.
Is anyone else adjusting their glasses right now? Just to double check it's not them, because I am.
How we're going to do this trial over the next few days. I always give a word of caution when the attorneys or the defendant speaks. What I say in an opening statement or a closing argument is not evidence. It's my version of events. It is what I expect the evidence to show. Again, the judge is the keeper of the law, so if I say something slightly different than what she read, you'll be able to refer to those instructions again at the end of trial. Again, those are preliminary instructions as we go through the facts. How I am going to present this case is basically as follows. I'm going to talk about Thanksgiving, November 24th, 2022. I'm going to start with an individual who saw someone waving out the window of a white vehicle. This individual, his name is Michael Four. He thought this was so unusual and odd. He said maybe there's an emergency vehicle. He called 911. He was not the only 911 caller. This was in Greenfields, and at this area, officers arrived and they met a woman named Betty Hanel. Ms. Hanel at the time was disheveled. You'll hear the officers talk about, hopefully they might say the words crazy old lady, and I know that they don't mean it that way, but she was very disheveled at the time, very disorientated, and then she told what happened to her. What happened to her started on November 23rd, 2022, the day before, at approximately 2:33 p.m., 2:30 or 3 at Casa de Giorgio in Franklin. She goes to this restaurant on a semi-regular basis, usually on Wednesdays. Ms. Hanel will tell you, because she takes care of her brother. She goes to visit her brother. She goes to Casa de Giorgio. She has a glass of wine. She sits at the bar and she reads from her notebook. She used to visit this establishment with her husband, and she knows the owner and the bartender, Rex Adrizi. Rex Adrizi makes small talk with Ms. Hanel, and then Ms. Hanel notices an individual that comes up next to her, also chatting with her. And that individual calls himself Mario, and what the evidence will show is that was actually Mr. Timothy Olson. Betty chats with Mr. Olson, has her glass of wine, reads in her book, and then leaves. Leaves at about 3 p.m., goes to her car, puts her items in the passenger seat, and then gets into the driver's seat. As she's getting into the driver's seat, Mr. Olson gets into that passenger seat. Mr. Olson tells Ms. Hanel he has a gun and to drive.
Objection, Your Honor.
This is opening. Okay,
She's misleading the jurors.
All right, Mr. Olson, this is opening. So there's no arguing during opening. State, please continue.
Yes, and this is all what Ms. Hano will tell you, and you'll get to hear from her.
Oh, shut the front door. I know what's happening. Oh my God, people, strap in, people. We're in for a massive... He's representing himself. I just noticed. He's representing himself. This is going to be a shit show, people. He's representing himself. Oh, this is these fucks. Oh, now I just noticed that. He's representing himself. So the judge, not the judge, the attorney with him must just be a guy that is helping him with the law. You know, some people have that. So, yeah. So this is going to be wow. So anyway, strap it in. Let's get back to it. But yeah, I just noticed that now. I did not know that before we started this stream. Oh, shit. How do I get it back? Oh, no. How do I get the stream? Oh, no, that's not the one I wanted. Hang on. Need to... Oh, fuck it. It'll do.
Her probably tomorrow morning. Ms. Hano will tell you how she is 79 years old. She's not a particularly good driver. And the statement that Mr. Olson made to her scared her out of her mind. She drove while being berated. She drove while Mr. Olson was telling her what a terrible driver she was. And then Ms. Hano will tell you how they actually ended up switching spots and he took over driving. Ms. Hano will also tell you how they made several stops throughout the entire night. There will be what we call ELPers or flock license plate readers to track this progress all over Milwaukee County, the city of Milwaukee, Greendale, ending up Oak Creek, ending up in Greenfield. And then she'll also tell you about what happened in that car. She was forced to drink alcohol. She was forced to drink from a bottle of orange liquid, and that she was terrified because, again, she's 79 years old. Officers eventually, after they recover Betty, after she flags them down, after the initial responding officers, Greenfield officers, talk about how she seems to just be making up the story, how the investigation then happens because Detective Zaleski gets involved and starts tracking this back because Ms. Hano notices that her credit card's been used at a couple of places. She's like, I didn't use it. I didn't get out of the car. At those establishments, at transactions that occurred at 5:56 a.m., 7:44 a.m., 4:02 a.m. In the video, you'll see Mr. Olson. That video gets presented to the media. Mr. Olson gets developed as a suspect. Again, Mr. Olson then gets taken into custody on November 29th, 2022 in the city of Franklin. Why that's important is around that time as well, 2 individuals then report that, one, that their garage was burglarized. That garage, a bike was taken from that garage. Mr. Olson was riding that bike when he was first spotted by Franklin officers. And then 2, an RV was also burglarized. That RV no one had used that recreational vehicle in the front yard of this residence for several months. It was locked up. It was winterized. But the evidence will show that there were signs of use, that someone perhaps was living there. And when Mr. Olson is taken into custody, items for this recreational vehicle were found on his person, including a key to an electric bike, shampoo and conditioner, and a knife that the owner will identify as being found in that recreational vehicle. Ladies and gentlemen, all of this evidence will show that Mr. Olson was the individual that kidnapped Betty Hano, that then ran from officers before being taken into custody. And then when he was arrested, he had not only items from that garage and this recreational vehicle on his person or in recent possession, but he also had Betty Hano's credit card in his left pocket. Ladies and gentlemen, at the close of evidence, I will then come back and ask you to find him guilty. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Defense?
I would just like to say that she's just going by telling a story that just is not true.
Mr. Olson, there's no arguing. This is your opportunity to tell the jury what you believe the evidence will show. You are to stick to that, please.
Well, I believe the evidence will show that I'm innocent. And I guess that's
All right.
all I'm going to say.
Okay, thank you.
I appreciate you guys coming.
All right, members of the jury, we're going to, it's 4:24, so I'm going to, it's been a long day for all of you. I'm going to release you for the day, but
Okay, so we're on to day one, official day one. This is gonna be cringe. Do you know what I mean? This is gonna be cringe to watch. Right, let me get the other day. Because I'm trying to get the days up without spoiling it for you. Do you know what I mean? So, right, here we go. There's two parts to this one.
ordered by the court as well as the attorneys. I was informed that this morning when the deputies went to retrieve Mr. Olson to bring him up at about 7:25, 7:30, he was walked from the jail to the bullpen. The deputies did observe puke on Mr. Olson's orange jumpsuit or shirt. And from my view of it, it looks like it's old. It's not new. The deputies then left Mr. Olson in the bullpen for him to, I think, have his breakfast. 5 minutes later, they went in and observed that Mr. Olson was laying on the floor in a likely fetal position. Mr. Olson then made some complaints relative to his health or medical condition. The deputies then walked Mr. Olson back to the jail. He was seen by the nurse who cleared him, and then the deputies started walking Mr. Olson back. One of the deputies then decided that it was probably best to use a wheelchair, although that wasn't requested by Mr. Olson. It was because the deputy, in his judgment, determined that that would be a good idea. And then Mr. Olson was returned to the bullpen and he was observed. I did go back there to see Mr. Olson before this case was called. At that time, he was dry heaving. He's now placed in a wheelchair, and the deputies have informed me that that's probably the best approach going forward, because as one deputy described it best, quote, Mr. Olson is falling out of nowhere. And so he will remain in the wheelchair during this trial. Mr. Olson, given all this information, I want to make it very clear to you that this trial is going to go. Time and time again, doctor after doctor have cleared you, and this trial will go. Most recently, relative to last week's competency, in the report, and I will quote from the report because I think this is important, given everything that's transpired from Monday to today, yesterday to today, quote, Mr. Olson exhibited inconsistent and theatrical cognitive and psychiatric complaints that lacked an objective basis. Close observation of his functional abilities when he did not perceive he was being directly evaluated further supported the conclusion that Mr. Olson was malingering, end quote. That's very recent. That was from last week. The first competency report also indicated that you were malingering. And today, this morning, upon my report to the office, hearing about your shenanigan, I am concerned that you're not taking this very seriously, as you should. And I'm making it very clear to you, in addition to the rules of decorum that I went over with you very thoroughly, that you are expected to behave. And you can try all you can to protract this case, but it's going to go. We're now delayed over 45 minutes. The jurors have all reported on time as instructed. Everyone's been waiting. You can make us wait and we will wait, but the trial will go. Okay, that's that for the record. Lastly, Mr. Olson, you are in your orange jumpsuit. My question to you is, do you want time to change out of that into street clothes? If you do, I will give you time to do that. Otherwise, I will assume that you don't want to change into street clothes and we will proceed then with the trial. Mr. Olson? Okay. Well, Mr. Olson stands mute, is not responding. I will assume then that he does not wish to change into street clothes, and we'll get ready for the jurors. Anything else for the record from state?
Not at this time.
And from
I think maybe a bit more record needs to be. I just don't know the case law off the top of my head for someone being in jail clothes, so we can supplement that record. But I think you have given him an opportunity to change. You have told him that the jury would come in and see him as is. But I just wanted to make sure that we supplement the record a little bit, that it's when the defendant refuses to change, that it's absolutely okay to go forward with him in the jail clothes. But I just don't have that information off the top of my head.
Yeah. Of note, too, is that the same set of clothes that he was given yesterday is available to you, Mr. Olson, and I believe it's in the bullpen, correct, deputies? Okay, so there are two sets. Okay, two sets of clothes are made available for Mr. Olson. They're both in the bullpen. Mr. Olson, if you don't want to change into civilian clothes, street clothes, that's fine. That's your decision, but we will proceed. And as the state pointed out, that would mean that the jury would see you in the orange jumpsuit, indicating your custody status. During this trial, at a later point, if you decide that you do want to change into street clothes, you still have that opportunity. But because you are refusing to answer my question, I will assume that you are fine remaining in jailhouse clothes, and we will proceed. Anything else for the record from defense? Mr. Olson, the state had an opportunity to place what they think is important on the record. I'm giving you an opportunity as well. Attorney Wasilewski?
Just briefly regarding access to discovery materials. Pursuant to the court's request, I have brought my laptop. Mr. Olson's interest yesterday seemed to be, at least initially, with regard to certain photos of one of the car of the victim, and I have those up to show him if and when there's an appropriate time to do that. I also have a notebook I prepared containing all the narrative reports with an index at the front, and if he wants access to that so he can have the written reports, I'll make that available to him.
Okay, great, thank you. And I did forget about that, and my intention and point of all of that was to ensure that Mr. Olson has access, which he now does have. He has a laptop as well as printed materials. With respect to exhibits, I'm going to order that the state man the exhibits. If there is an exhibit that Mr. Olson wishes to use during the course of examination, of course, he'll let the state know before he uses it. And then the state, if you can man it from your desk, one, I think it's more convenient that way. We don't have to toggle, but two, I think to minimize any attempts of Mr. Olson to show anything that's inappropriate from the laptop that is now made accessible to him. And so that way we control as much of this as possible, or that I control as much of this as possible to ensure that this case is not disrupted. This trial is not disrupted.
So that's fine, but that brings up another point. If Mr. Olson refuses to participate or ask questions or provide any sort of defense, at what point are we going to call on Attorney Wasilewski to step in?
Well, I think my instructions yesterday was fairly clear that first and foremost, I think the first step is if Mr. Olson is choosing to not participate, or he's removed from the courtroom, he is still in charge of the organization and content of his defense. And to that end, he may provide questions, specific questions for Attorney Wasilewski as standby counsel to ask those questions. But Attorney Wasilewski as standby counsel, is not going to cross those lines and start formulating his own questions based upon how the trial proceeds. So it still falls on Mr. Olson. And I suppose at that point, the situation, it's fluid. We'll see what happens at that point. But I think that's the initial guidance to Attorney Wasuski as standby counsel, so that there's no confusion as to what he can and cannot do, and also so that Mr. Olson can plan accordingly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so let's go off the record and bring in the jurors.
Wow, this is a shit show. I mean, wow.
Pulled incorrectly from the state system. And so when the ADA that was covering for me in prelim court pulled it in, it wasn't corrected. I have copies of an amended information. I haven't filed it yet that corrects that language. So as I see it, I have two options. I could file it now and we could adopt the amended information now, or I can wait till the end of the case, and then at the end of the case, I can always amend the information to conform with the evidence, and then we could deal with it then. So I just wanted to bring that up to the court ahead of time and give plenty of notice to Mr. Olson that I would be doing that. I don't expect to make any other changes, but I think it's important to have a precise and accurate information. And then the second thing I wanted to bring up is the owner of Casa de Giorgio. On his photo array form, it states that he identifies Mr. Olson as the individual that walked out without paying. That technically could be another crime. It was never charged. I think it comes in via panorama evidence. It's how Rex Adrizi remembers Mr. Olson and part of this scenario. So there is not really a way for me to protect that from coming in. It's a small amount, but I just, that's on the form that's going to be part of evidence. Mr. Olson had plenty of notice of this because it was in all of the evidence. I just wanted to bring it up to the court because I think that that crime out of all of the other ones that were committed is one that I don't know if I can avoid. And I just wanted to put everyone on notice regarding that as well.
Okay, defense, anything for the record relative to what the state has said? All right, hearing nothing from defense.
For the record, a copy of the amended information is now before Mr. Olson. I don't see him directing any attention toward it.
Okay, so if I understood you correctly, as to, first of all, the amended information has counts 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Counts 1, 2, 3, and 4 remain the substance of the charge, as well as the wording in that document remains the same as before. It's count 5 in terms of the wording that's changed, correct?
Correct.
And it's not so much that it's changed, but it's just clarified or corrected because it was automatically pulled in. And I guess more or less it could be described as a Scrivener error.
It would be a Scrivener's error.
Okay.
It pulled in railroad car instead of motorhome in the substantive charging language. It also left off the consent element. So effectively, it just made the information harder for the state to prove, but more accurate.
All right, I will conduct arraignment on count 5 at this time. I'm going to give an opportunity for Mr. Olson to read count 5.
And I'll file that with the court because I haven't, so that the clerks can pull it in. Just 1 second.
Sorry, man.
Okay, Mr. Olson, the document is on your desk. It doesn't look like you're engaging in any reading.
Everything's spinning. I can't focus on answering any questions.
I think we started at about 9 o'clock, because I said we're 45 minutes late. It's now 9:15. Before the first case was called, which was a bail bond hearing, a separate case from this case, I think that was called, 8:30? A little after 8:30. Before that was called, I went back there to the bullpen to just check in to make sure that there weren't any issues that required my immediate attention. Mr. Olson was seated in the wheelchair. There were moments in which he was dry heaving, which is why I described it before. And while that bail bond hearing was being heard, I could hear Mr. Olson coughing and some dry heaving intermittently while I was conducting the bail bond hearing. Then we started this trial outside the presence of the jury, just housekeeping matters, at about 9 o'clock. It's now 9:16. Mr. Olson has been seated. He remains in a wheelchair, seated at a defense table. He has his head in his hand. For the most part, he hasn't said a whole lot, although he's just indicated now that it's hard for him to focus. But in the time that he's been seated at defense table, there's no dry heaving, there's no coughing, there's no puking. And from what I can see from my viewpoint here, he doesn't display any medical conditions that would alert me that there's something here, an issue here. And it's important that all this is noted for the record, because Mr. Olson, you can continue to do what you believe you need to do to delay this case, but it's going to proceed. And now I'm attempting to complete arraignment on count 5. The court has given opportunity for Mr. Olson to read. The document has been placed in front of him, as noted by Attorney Washilewski. He is looking down on the table. I don't know if he's reading, but in any event, given Mr. Olson's behavior, I'm going to read count 5 for Mr. Olson, and we'll proceed so that we can complete arraignment. Count 5 charges that the above named defendant, beginning November 19, 2022, and ending November 29, 2022 at 7271 South 35th Street in the city of Franklin, Milwaukee County, Wisconsin, did intentionally enter a motorhome or other motorized type of home without the consent of the person in lawful possession of the motorhome or other motorized type of home, car, and with intent to steal, whether or not any person was living in such home, contrary to section 943.10 1ME, 939.53F, 939.6232C of the Wisconsin statutes. Upon conviction for this offense, a class F felony, the defendant may be fined not more than $25,000 or imprisoned not more than 12 years and 6 months or both. And further invoking the provisions of section 939.6232C of the Wisconsin statutes, because the crime victim is an elder person, the maximum term of imprisonment of more than 10 years prescribed by law for the underlying crime may be increased by not more than 6 years. Okay, that's what count 5 says in the amended information. At this time, the court will enter a not guilty plea on Mr. Olson's behalf. Again, it's already been noted for the record, but Mr. Olson did receive a copy of the amended information. Mr. Clerk will now pull it in, and arraignment has been completed on count 5. Okay, we have Mr. Ford seated as well. Good morning to you, Mr. Ford.
Sorry, ma'am.
Okay, and you recall yesterday that we went over your prior convictions. The state, you are a state's witness, and the state will ask you those 2 questions. Have you ever been convicted of a crime? The expected answer is yes. And number of convictions, the expected answer is 5. If you don't give those expected answers, then either party can then go into the details of your history. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so now Mr. Forrest ready. Let's go ahead and bring in the jury.
And I have to call him and see officially on the record.
Yes, that's correct.
I know that he was sworn in yesterday. Do we need to swear him in again?
Yes,
this
we do.
morning? Okay.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Ford, we're here today to talk. There's a case involving Mr. Olson. Do you know Mr. Olson?
Never met him, ma'am.
No. And I'm just going to state the obvious. You're here. You're in jail clothes.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you in custody for anything to do with the case here today?
No, ma'am.
Do you have any prior convictions?
Yes, ma'am.
How many?
Ma'am, I have 5.
And I'd like to draw your attention to Thanksgiving in 2022. Did you observe something unusual happen on that day?
Yes, ma'am. I was coming up the expressway on Beloit Avenue, heading would be west towards Highway 100. When I got to the intersection, I was going to make a left-hand turn on the Highway 100. And as I was in the middle of my turn, I noticed a car. There's a freestanding building that's set back on Beloit on the west side a little farther. And there's a open vacant lot, and I noticed a car with a female waving her hands frantically out the window. So I pulled over and figured she needed assistance with her car. As I got out of my car, started approaching, she was kind of frantically screaming that she was held against her will. For a few days, she was sexually abused, and she really wasn't making much sense. So I gotta apologize. At first, I thought,
No, yeah, and just let me ask you a couple questions about that too.
yes, ma'am.
Officers arrived, correct?
I was the first one on the scene, and then there was another gentleman that pulled up after me, asking what was the problem, and I believe he called the police after the 2 of us were there, ma'am.
Okay, and then you stayed on scene until the police arrived, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm actually want to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit number 1.
That would be the lady in the car and me on the side of the road during that day, ma'am.
So it's a lady in a car and you on the side of the
Well,
road?
she's out of her car at the time, but yes, that would be the 3 of us, or the 2 of us.
And that's a photograph of those items, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that an accurate representation of what it looked like that day?
Yes, ma'am.
I'd ask that Exhibit number 1 be moved into evidence.
Any objection from defense? I hear no objection received.
Permission to publish too.
You may.
Thank you.
TVs need to be turned on.
I'm sorry.
Oh, are they off? Oh, that would be,
Yes. Chris here.
sorry. Thank you for your patience. And this is the photo I showed you, correct, Mr. Fuller?
Yes, ma'am.
And that's you standing there in the blue shirt.
Yes, ma'am.
And then we talked briefly about the woman there in the car, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
What was her demeanor like? How did she seem to you?
She seemed frazzled and kind of, she was, how would I state it? She just seemed really distant. She was frazzled. She was pretty scared. She was just looking for help. I mean, at her age, she just seemed lost.
Okay.
And glad that somebody was there that she didn't have to worry about.
Yeah. And because you're testifying today, did we have any sort of agreement to get you here to testify today?
No, ma'am.
No. Just here because you're a witness in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
I have no further questions. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Cross? Mr. Olson, would you like to cross? I'll take that as a no. Okay. Thank you, sir, for your
Thank you, ma'am.
testimony. Members of the jury, at this time, we're going to take a short break, plan for about 5 to 6 minutes, and then we'll bring you back when we are ready. Okay, I remind everyone this case is not concluded. Do not conduct your own research and do not talk about this case. Thank you.
Oh my days, this is atrocious.
We're outside the presence of the jury. We can have Mr. Ford removed.
Thank you, ma'am.
I take a 2-minute comfort break as an indifferent.
Yes. Okay, we remain off the record. Take a little break. There's some things I want to place on the record when you both come back. Mr. Olson, do you need a little bit of a break? Would you like to use the restroom or something? Are you ready? Yeah. Okay. We're going on the record. Okay, we're on the record outside the presence of the jury. Same appearances before. Mr. Olson was in the courtroom in the wheelchair during this break. I'll also note for the record that once we got off the record and State and Attorney Wesselski started to leave the courtroom, I did hear Deputy Bruce ask Mr. Olson if he wanted water. I inquired with Deputy Bruce if that was what I heard and asked if he could also inquire if Mr. Olson wanted to use the restroom. He indicated no, correct, Deputy Bruce? Okay, he didn't respond to your question. Okay, so, and of course, before we went on break, I did inquire with Mr. Olson as well if he wanted a bathroom break. He did not answer me. And then Deputy Bruce also inquired with Mr. Olson. He did not respond to Deputy Bruce. I think now that the state has called their first witness, I want to make it very clear to you, Mr. Olson, and on the record that your refusal to participate, I did inquire with you if you wanted to cross-examine, and after every witness, like in a usual typical jury trial, I will inquire with the opposing party if they want to cross or recross. I will also ask those who are asking the questions on direct if they want to redirect. And so that's the usual process that I follow. I will do the same here. And when I inquired with Mr. Olson if he wanted to cross, he did not answer. I assume then from that he does not have any questions, and he may not have any questions. I don't know, but he didn't answer the court. And so, Mr. Olson, your refusal to participate is your decision alone. It does not put me in a position whereby, upon my discretion, I can order that that Attorney Wasilewski come in as your attorney. That can't be done. And just so you know, this trial will still continue. You are to be mindful that your actions have consequences. And the most noticeable one is the delay. But it is important that this trial continues. I will continue to make the record to ensure that all of this is noted, and this is the best that we can do, that the court can do at this time. But I'm letting you know that you do have the opportunity to ask questions. I will inquire with you, and if you don't respond, we continue. Okay, so that's placed on the record. We're now ready for the jury. We can bring them in.
Your Honor, two things. We never did a sequestration order, and two of my Greenfield officers have been sitting in court, and I just neglected to ask them to leave. So I don't know if it's the court's practice to do that. I don't know if defense wants it because it wasn't requested, but I just wanted to bring that up.
Sure. Mr. Olson, as to your position on sequestration. Mr. Olson is turning towards the officers who are seated near the gallery. I will order that all witnesses be sequestered, whether they're witnesses for state or for defense, but all witnesses will be sequestered.
Thank you.
Okay. You can bring in the jury.
State and spell your name into the mic for the record.
Edwin Roman, EDWIN ROMAN.
Have a seat. Thank you. And Mr. Roman, that mic is fully adjustable. So you can pull that down right to your mouth, just so we can all hear you. Mr. Roman, we're here today to talk about November 24th, 2022. Do you know why we're here to talk about that date?
Yes.
Yes. Why are we here?
Elderly woman got abducted. I found her cell phone on Highway 100 in front of McDonald's and Walgreens area, just north of Layton Avenue.
So could you tell me about what you were doing that morning?
I was going northbound. I must have gone to the grocery store to pick up some stuff for Thanksgiving. And then I was heading northbound on Highway 100, 108th Street. And I saw a cell phone in the lane. And I turned around and came back around and it wasn't damaged and I picked it up.
Okay. Why did you do that?
Because that's what I do.
Yeah. Just to be nice?
Just to make sure, somebody's cell phone doesn't get damaged. And
sure. When you picked up the phone, do you remember about what time of day it was?
It was in the morning, I believe.
Early morning, late morning, or?
I'm not sure. Probably early, before noon.
Before noon. And it's been 3.5 years, right?
Right,
yeah.
Exactly.
What did you do with the phone once you received it?
I drove home and I put it before I put it in a Ziploc bag, I believe it was unlocked. And I called the number, which was her son's, the lady's who was supposedly abducted, her son's phone number, and I called him.
Did he answer?
He did.
Yes. And did he come get it?
He did not.
No. Who came to did someone come to get the phone?
I believe it was Greenfield Police Department. They were doing the investigation. So when I called him, he stated that he would call the police. I wouldn't give him the phone, so he said he'll call the Greenfield Police, and I gave him my address and my phone number. They called me and they came over and picked it up, and I had it in a Ziploc bag.
So just to be clear, when you say you called him, you mean the son of the victim?
Correct.
And then eventually the police called you?
Correct.
Okay. That's all correct?
Right.
Right.
I believe so.
Did you do anything else with the phone?
No,
No. Did you delete anything?
no,
No. Did you do any internet searches?
no,
No. Did you send any text messages?
no,
No. Did you alter it or delete anything in any way?
no.
No. Just put it in the Ziploc bag and tried to find the owner.
Called, put it in a Ziploc bag. Police came to my front door, knocked on the door, and I handed it to a police officer, and he told me they're doing an investigation. That's it.
Great. Thank you. I have no further questions.
Cross? Mr. Olson, do you have questions you'd like to ask on cross? Hear no response, I will take that as a no. Thank you.
Can't answer any questions right now.
I'm sorry?
I can't answer any questions right now.
Okay. All right, thank you, sir. You may step down. Members of the jury, we're going to take about a 5-minute break, and then I'll have you back in, plan for about 5 to 6 minutes. I remind everyone this case is not concluded. Do not talk about the case. Do not conduct your own research.
Are they going to take a 5-minute break after every witness? So she can put it on record. Fucking hell, this is a shit show.
Mr. Olson, given your response to my question, if you had questions you want to ask on cross-examination, I'm inquiring with you if you need a break. Mr. Olson has turned to look at me, to look at the court, but he's not responding to my question. I will assume
This is so cringy. I am like, oh, I can't.
that you don't need a break, and thus we can continue with the trial. Okay, let's go off the record for just a few minutes and then state prepared your next witness.
Okay.
Of course, you'll call that witness on the record, but just. Okay, welcome back, members of the jury. State, please call your next witness.
Thank you. The state calls Officer Garrett Olson.
Tell us where to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God. I do. Please spell and state your name for the record.
First name is Garrett, Garrett. Last name is Olson, Olson.
Thank you. Mr. Olson, you're a police officer, correct?
Correct.
And what jurisdiction do you work for?
City of Greenfield.
How long have you worked for the Greenfield Police Department?
It will be 10 years at the end of May.
Were you employed in that capacity on November 24th, 2022?
Yes, I was.
What type of shift were you working that day?
I was working day shift.
And what does that mean?
That's from 7:45 a.m. to 4 p.m.
And was November 24th, 2022 any type of holiday?
It was Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving that year? So you were unlucky enough to be working on Thanksgiving?
Yes.
Part of the job, right?
Yep.
So do you remember responding to a call of a female in distress?
Yes.
Yes. And could you tell us about responding to that call?
Upon my arrival, Officer Nemish was already on scene and speaking with the female individual. Came out as an elder female that was in distress, and it was more like a check welfare that we needed to check, see how she was.
Yeah. So did you make observations of this person?
Yes.
Yes. And do you know her name?
Betty.
Betty. Betty Hanel,
Yes.
Hanel.
Correct.
Yes. What was your observations of her?
She seemed distressed, maybe confused. We also had some information from dispatch, at least from the call, that
she may have been confused. So when we arrived, we did observe that. She seemed very distressed.
But your main role was not talking to Ms. Hanel, is that correct?
Correct.
What did you do when you arrived on scene?
I observed Officer Nemish, like I mentioned before, was speaking with Ms. Hanel. There was a male individual who I believed had called us. So I began to speak with him.
Do you remember his name?
It was Mr. Four.
Mr. Ford. And you saw Mr. Ford earlier this morning,
Correct. Correct. Yes.
I assume he wasn't in orange at the time that
No.
he was speaking to you?
No, he was not.
Did you have any other roles in that investigation?
I spoke to Mr. Four about what he observed, and then I did briefly speak with Ms. Hanel about her phone. She said she had lost that, as well as some, I believe it was credit cards. I tried to find her phone through, like, Find My iPhone, but that resulted negative. I couldn't use that. So then I ended up calling her cell phone, and a different male individual answered that phone.
And let's just talk about the Find My iPhone. Why was that unsuccessful?
I don't recall if she didn't remember her username, or there was something along those lines of the username and password where I wasn't able to access her iCloud or iPhone account.
So then you called her phone and someone answered.
Correct.
Do you know who answered that phone?
Mr. Roman, I believe Edwin.
Edwin?
Yeah.
And did Edwin had the phone, true?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how did you get the phone back?
So I spoke with Mr. Roman on the phone. He said he had found it on South 108th Street, or most people know it as Highway 100, on the road, and he had it at his house. So I responded to his house to retrieve the phone from him.
Do you remember what condition the phone was in?
I do not recall.
Was it broken?
No, not to the extent of it not working. It still worked.
It was a working phone and you collected the phone. What did you do with the phone once you collected it?
I transported it back to the scene on Highway 100 or South 108th Street, and turned it over to Franklin police officers.
And where was the scene?
We responded to the area of South 108th Street and West Beloit Road in the city of Greenfield.
Milwaukee County, state of Wisconsin?
Correct.
Is there a business at that location?
There's multiple. I believe it was closer to Grandpa Frank's. I don't know the address off the top of my head of
What,
that
do you know
business.
what type of business Grandpa Frank's is?
It's like a market.
Market?
Yeah.
And so once you brought the phone back to the scene, do you know what happened to it?
I turned it over to the Franklin officers, and that was the last I knew of it.
So you're from the Greenfield Police Department. This location was in Greenfield.
Correct.
Why were Franklin police officers there?
Ms. Hanel had made a statement that she was taken against her own will at Casa de Giorgio, which is a restaurant in the city of Franklin, Wisconsin.
So then tell us how Franklin then got involved.
So when we heard that statement from Ms. Hanel, we got in touch with our dispatch center to request Franklin officers respond, since the claim she was making occurred in a different jurisdiction than my jurisdiction.
Is that typical practice?
Yes, if we find out a potential crime has been committed in a different jurisdiction, we would contact that jurisdiction.
And even though Ms. Hanel ended up in your jurisdiction, you called someone else in?
Correct.
Okay. I have no further questions. Thank you.
Cross? Mr. Olson, do you have questions you'd like to ask this witness? I'll take that as a no. All right, thank you, officer. You may step down.
Thank you, Your Honor.
State, please call your next witness.
Yes, the state calls Betty Hanel.
Okay, Betty Anal is coming up. So as you can see there, I'll play the rest of day one today. It's a few hours, and then tomorrow day 2, Wednesday day 3. So unless they tell me I need to change something.
Could you please stand for just a minute, ma'am? We're going to swear you in. Mr. Clerk is going to swear you in, and then you'll be seated.
Well, he's gonna stand up one second. Stand up, okay.
Please raise your right hand.
Oh,
Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do. Thank you.
And using the microphone, could you please state and spell your name for the record?
So they're not going to show her face, which I actually agree. I'm quite glad that they're not showing her face. You know, she is a victim here, and I think there's some stuff here that, yeah. So they're not showing her. I do not believe. I can't see her face here.
Ms. Hanel, he needs you to state and spell your name for the record.
Okay, Betty Hanel, Hanel.
Thank you. And I'm sorry, Ms. Hanel, I jumped in. We had a short conversation in the hallway. You forgot your hearing aids today, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so I apologize if I seem like I'm shouting at you, but
That's
I want to
okay.
make sure you can hear. Okay. Ms. Hanel, do you know why we're here today?
Yes,
Yes. Why are we here?
to testify what happened to me with Timothy Olson.
And do you know Mr. Olson?
No, I don't know him.
No. Do you see him here in court today?
Yes, I do.
Where is he seated and what is he wearing?
He's sitting right in front of me to the left, wearing an orange clothing.
May the record reflect identity of the defendant.
Any objection?
Okay.
It shall.
Thank you. Ms. Hanel, we're going to talk through what happened in some detail. So I'd like to start at the beginning. Do you remember going to Casa de Giorgio?
Yes.
Yes. Do you remember what date that was?
The date?
Yes.
It was November. Well, I don't know when Thanksgiving fell that year. I can't remember. And I think that was 1922.
Would it have been 2022?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I'm sorry. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
And so it was the day before Thanksgiving in 2022.
Yes.
Yes. And why were you at Casa de Giorgio?
Well, I sort of had a long day. I had taken care of my brother that day. And so I just stopped. My husband and I used to like to go there before he passed away. And I thought I'd just sit at the bar and read my book. I always read my book and have a glass of Chardonnay to relax and end the day.
Were you planning on meeting anyone at Casa de Giorgio?
No.
How often do you go to this establishment?
Oh, well, that particular, I hadn't been there for years. My husband passed away in 2017. So I wasn't used to going places without him. But that day I was sort of difficult with my brother. He's autistic and it sort of wore me out. So I was coming home and I was going down Rawson Avenue. So I stopped. I said, well, I'll just stop and have a drink.
Did you know anyone that works there?
I do know Rex, the owner.
The owner. And how do you know Rex?
Well, when my husband was alive, we used to always go to Casa de Giorgio's for fish fry on Fridays. And we've been going there for years, and that's how we know Rex.
So you stopped at Casa de Giorgio, had a glass of Chardonnay, and when you say you read your book,
Yes.
Do you read it a paperback or what type of book?
I have a Nook.
A Nook.
It's a Barnes and Nobles, similar to what you call that, a Kindle.
Sure.
And yeah, I love it. Mm-hmm.
Great. So you go into Casa de Giorgio. Where do you sit?
At the bar.
At the bar. And who is bartending that day?
Rex.
Rex. And was anyone at the bar when you sat down?
No.
No. So tell us about what happened while you were at Casa de Giorgio.
Okay, so I'm just sitting at the bar, sipping on my wine, reading my book, and I believe I had already asked Rex for my check. And so I was waiting for my check, and the defendant came up and sat next to me. And he offered to buy me a drink. And I said, no, I always only have one. Okay, so maybe a minute or two passed. And he asked me again if he could buy me a drink. And I said, no, I always just have one. And so my check came, I paid Rex, and I left. Should I go farther?
Sure, yes,
Yeah.
that's fine.
So I got in my car, and I was just ready to start it up when the defendant jumped in the passenger side and made it appear as if he had a gun in his jacket pocket and said, I have a gun, just drive.
Okay.
Drive.
Let me just stop you there for a second. Did this person that sat next to you at the bar give you a name?
No.
No?
No.
Do you remember telling officers that he referred to himself as Mario?
Well, yeah, later on, when I was having to drive around, he told me his name was Mario.
So I'm sorry, that didn't happen until later.
Right.
Okay, thank you for
Right.
correcting me.
Yeah.
So you go into the car. When you go into the car, you get into the driver's seat.
I beg your pardon?
You got into the driver's seat.
Yes.
Yes. And which seat did Mr. Olson get into?
The passenger next to me.
And I heard you say he made it appear like he had a gun.
Yes.
How could you describe or even show us what you mean by that?
Well, okay, can I stand up? No?
Yeah, I think that would be okay. Yes, if that would be best, please.
Okay. I think I can do it. Okay, so. See, I'm sorry. Yeah.
So if I'm describing it appropriately, you had a hand in your jacket pocket and like a pointing motion.
Yeah, it was pointed at me.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Were there any statements being said at that time?
Well, I think I was sort of driving erratically because I was, of course, upset, very, very upset. And I think some of the time when I was driving, he'd get upset because he would give me directions on where to go. You know, it was like turn here right. But sometimes he waited till I was almost through the intersection. So it would be almost too late to turn left. And of course he didn't like that. Yeah.
Were you afraid?
Oh yeah, it was the worst day of my life.
What did you think was happening at this time?
Oh, well, you know, I don't think you can really think. you just pray. You pray.
Did you truly believe he had a gun?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Did you ever see the firearm?
No.
But it was your belief that he had that weapon.
Yes, I did.
So driving around, you were terrified. What's it like driving and being terrified?
Can you repeat that?
Yes. What were you feeling as you were driving around terrified?
Well, of course, being terrified. And then, of course, I'm hoping I'm not making any mistakes. Because you're thinking you don't want to set them off. You don't really know what kind of person this is. And it got more difficult as the night went on because it started getting dark, and I don't see that good as it gets dark out. It was pretty much a lot of unfamiliar territory. Like we were like way on the east side, way on the north side, and I didn't know where I was most of the time. It was very, very difficult.
Did you drive the entire evening?
No.
Tell us about how you ended up not driving.
It must have been maybe around 9 or so. He got frustrated how I drove, and then so he took over.
What time were you at Casa de Giorgio?
3 o'clock.
Like 3 in the afternoon?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
How do you know it was 3?
How do I know it was 3?
Mm-hmm.
Well, my brother lives in South Milwaukee, sort of not far from Rawson Avenue. And when I left my brother's apartment, I got in my car, I checked the time on my car clock, and it said about 2:55 or something like that. So that's when I decided, I think on the way home I'll stop at Casa de Giorgio's, because it was early. And a lot of times when I'm taking care of my brother, I don't leave that early. Sometimes it's not till 5 o'clock. So it was like an aha moment.
Hoping for a relaxing glass of wine.
Yeah, yes.
Okay. So now we're just going to back up a little bit. You're driving. Were there any threats made to you?
I have to say no. No.
Other than showing you the
gun.
firearm.
By maybe 9 o'clock or so, I realized there was no gun.
Right.
Yeah.
So why didn't you leave then?
I'm sorry, what?
Why didn't you get out of the car? Or why didn't you, when you switched from the driver's seat to the passenger seat, why didn't you walk away?
Oh, well, have you seen me walk? To tell you the truth, through the whole incident, I kept my hand on the doorknob. And I'm thinking, when we stopped for a stop sign, and even when he was driving, when we stopped for a stop sign, I could dash out. But, I thought, I can't walk. How can I run?
How old are you, Ms. Hannell?
I'm sorry, what?
How old are you?
Well, now I'm 82.
How old were you on Thanksgiving of 2022?
79.
And then you mentioned, have we seen you walk? You walked into court today, is that correct?
Yes.
Did you use any assistive or medical devices?
I used my walker.
Your walker. Did you use a walker in 2022?
No.
No. Could you tell us about your physical condition in 2022?
Well, 2022, I have spinal stenosis, and each year it was getting constantly worse. And so, I could walk then in 2022, but and I didn't need a cane then, but I could not walk well, let alone run.
So what
Yeah.
does, you said spinal stenosis.
Yes.
What does that cause physically in your body?
Well, it's a degenerative disease of the spinal column, and it causes you to increasingly get worse and worse. It deteriorates the spinal column.
Thank you. Is that painful?
Oh, yeah.
Do you take pain medications?
I usually just now take ibuprofen.
Thank you. So we're going to talk about driving around a little bit. Did you, and let's go in chronological order, were there any stops as you were driving?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
You know what you mean, places or stop signs?
Places.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. And feel free to correct me if I ask bad questions. I truly do appreciate it because I think it helps for clarity for everyone. So we're going to talk about places or events.
Okay.
Okay. So you're driving now, it's 3 p.m. You leave the parking lot of Casa di Giorgio. Do you know about which direction you headed?
Well, I know leaving Casa di Giorgio's, I went left. So that would have been east.
And then do you remember the first stop or event that happened?
I really don't remember. I remember, but by that time I'm still upset. I'm still very upset. So I can't remember.
Do you remember any stops that you made that evening?
Well, he seemed to be upset with an ATM. I'm sorry, what?
He seemed to be upset with an ATM?
With my ATM card. He wanted my ATM card, but I never had one. And he was really upset about that because he said, who today doesn't have an ATM card?
Because what type of card did you have, Ms. Hannell?
I just have a credit card, one.
One credit card?
Uh-huh.
Do you remember what bank that was with?
Yeah, U.S. Bank.
U.S. Bank. Did you lose any possessions during this event?
Well, he took my cell phone. I think he took my purse. I'm not sure about that. But that was basically it.
So let's go back and talk about the stops or events. And I said, so we went to, he's upset about the ATM card.
Mm-hmm.
Did you make any stops during that evening?
Yeah, well, this is when he was driving. He stopped at a couple of ATM. I don't know why. And I don't know what he did because, I couldn't see that. But he did do that. He stopped at several, like Quick Trips or gas stations that had food marts attached. And that's when he would buy the liquor.
The liquor.
Mm-hmm.
Did you go with Mr. Olson into any of these establishments?
No.
No. And again, I'm going to ask you, why not? Why didn't you just get out of the car and run at that point?
Yeah, you would have thought I would, hey? But I couldn't, it's just like, I didn't trust myself to attempt that. It's easy to say, why didn't you just run out of the car? But if you're in that situation, it's not that easy. It's not that easy.
Were you terrified the entire evening?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So you remember stopping at some Quick Trip type stores, food marts. Did you ever give Mr. Olson permission to use your credit card?
No.
No. Do you know if he ever took your credit card?
Well, he must have, because after I got home, days after, all of these different charges kept occurring on my statement.
Did you make those charges?
I'm sorry, what?
Did you make those charges?
Purchases?
Purchases?
No,
No. Did you give anyone else permission to make those purchases?
no.
No. I'm actually going to have the deputy show you what I've marked as exhibit number 8.
Okay.
Ms. Hannell, do you recognize what that is?
Yeah, oh, yes,
What
Yeah.
is that?
Well, that's my charge card.
And when's the last time you saw that charge card?
Oh, a while back. I mean, I hardly recognize it because it's a different color.
Yeah. And where is that? What is the bank associated with that charge card?
U.S. Bank.
U.S. Bank. And how do you know it's yours?
Well, it's got my name on it. Yeah, I signed the back. Okay.
That's great. I'd ask that exhibit number 8 be moved into evidence.
Any objection? Hearing no objection received.
Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Permission to publish then to the jury?
Yes, you may. Can all members of the jury see at least one of the screen? Okay, everyone's nodding their head yes.
And I'm just showing the front because the back of the card has your credit card number. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes. And I'm not going to show that to everyone. But was this card canceled?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Is this your credit card?
Yes.
Thank you. Now, Ms. Hannah, we talked about stops, the food marts, the quick trips, and then you mentioned something about a liquor store.
Yes.
Could you tell us about stopping at the liquor store?
I don't think you would say it was a liquor store per se. Every one of those type of stops was connected with a filling station. And so yeah, he went in and he bought that small type bottle of whatever it was, I don't know, whiskey or whatever, looked like whiskey. And he had a water bottle that he spilled some out of, and then he would add the liquor to it. And then he would push it up to my lips and yell, drink, drink. But I couldn't. I told him, I said, I couldn't. I said, I can't. Well, then he stopped for a while, and then maybe about a half hour or so, he would try it again. And I said, no, I can't. And then he got, with each try, he got a little bit more vicious. And to say at one point, he like shoved it to my lips, and I had my mouth shut. I was worried about my teeth. Spent a lot of money on my teeth. So, yeah, but who knows? I tend to think, because it must have been around 11, 12 o'clock, I fell asleep. And so I don't know, maybe some got in, I don't know. But I didn't wake up till 7 o'clock on Thanksgiving Day.
So this bottle, do you remember what color the liquid was in this bottle?
Well, it was the color of whiskey, golden colored.
Because again, too, this is 3.5 years ago, correct?
I know.
Was your memory about what happened better back in 2022 than it is now?
It's exactly the same now.
Yeah. But
if you dream it every night, you have a nightmare every night. how could you forget?
Yeah. And do you think you could have remembered some of the details, fine details better back in 2022?
I could have.
Because do you remember telling officers that it was an orange liquid?
I'm sorry, what?
That it was an orange liquid?
I probably did.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And I just, you're remembering a lot of details, so I appreciate that. But I just, we're just talking about 3.5 years ago, so it's understandable if your memory isn't perfect.
Okay.
Did you eat or drink anything else when you were in the car?
No.
No. Do you remember if you made any stops to use the restroom?
No.
No. No stops to use the restroom?
Well, what actually happened, maybe it was around 11 o'clock, and I don't know exactly where we were. It was not a very good looking neighborhood, because he got out of the car and met someone across the alley, and so him and this other guy were talking for a while, and then when he came back to the car, I told him I had to go to the bathroom. Okay? And he sort of positioned the car around or near these garbage cans. And that's where I went.
You went outside of
behind the garbage cans.
Where was Mr. Olson when you were doing that?
He was in the car.
After you went to the bathroom, did you get back in the car?
Yes.
Yes.
I thought of running off. I did that. But like I say, it's not that easy. And you don't know where you are.
Do you know did you use anything, and I'm sorry for asking this question, to wipe yourself after you went to the restroom?
Well, I don't believe so. I guess you just do. I'd have you that. Do a little jumping around, whatever.
Yeah. Or do you remember having only one sock on when you were picked up the next day?
No, that I don't remember.
That's okay. So you stated you fell asleep at some point.
Mm-hmm.
How were you feeling when you fell asleep?
I believe, I guess I would say okay. I think the whole ordeal, by that point, it was late, past my bedtime. I was exhausted. And I just fell asleep like you do, riding around in a car.
And then you stated you woke up about 7 o'clock.
Yes.
How did you know it was 7?
I looked at the clock on the dashboard of the car.
Was it daylight at this point?
Yes.
Do you remember where you went after you woke up?
I'm sorry?
Do you remember where you went after you woke up?
Okay. When I woke up, we were driving down Highway 100, just past Steins on Highway 100, and we crossed Highway 100 and Beloit Road. Right there, there's a little mini mart, and there's a gift shop called, and he it happened so fast. He pulled off Highway 100 into the parking lot. He grabbed my cell phone, but I don't remember if he took my purse. For some reason, I can't remember that. And he dashed out of the car and proceeded to run in back of Grandpa Frank's. It was like a like a field. I could see him running. Okay, so I couldn't get the doors open. I couldn't get the windows open. So I crawled over the console and got in the driver's side, and I still couldn't get the doors open, but I got the window open about 5 inches. And that's how I could get my hand out to wave somebody down.
Were you able to wave anyone down?
Yes, I did.
Yes. And did they then help you?
Well, I'm sorry, but the first gentleman, he came up to the car, and I said, I've been abducted, call the police. And he said, I'm sorry, but I'll flag down the very next car behind me because I gotta get home. There's a turkey in the oven.
So did he flag someone else down for you?
Yes, he did.
Yes.
Yes, he did.
And so did the second person arrive help you?
Yes.
Tell us what happened as help was arriving.
I'm sorry?
Tell us what happened as help was arriving.
Well, of course, I told that gentleman, and right away, a lot of policemen came from, I don't know, all over. Franklin, Hills Corners, West Dallas, Greenfield, and many, many more.
Yeah. Felt like a lot of people there.
A lot.
Were you very overwhelmed at that time?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Was it hard to talk?
Well, to be honest, I could talk. Yeah, I had no problem talking.
Did you make some statements at the time?
Not that I recall. I think it's like the one and only policeman that approached me at that time.
I was thinking, what's that noise? Oh my days. Oh my days. Oh no, let me rewind it. 10 seconds. Listen up for the noise. Oh, for fuck's sakes.
Policeman, I think it's like the one and only policeman that approached me. By that time, we had gotten the door open, and I could like swing my legs out and stretch and get some fresh air.
Okay, Ms. Hennel, I'm
And,
going to interrupt your testimony. And we're members of the jury, we're going to take a break at this time. I'll have you back shortly. Okay. Remind you that this trial is not concluded. Do not talk about this case and do not conduct your own research. And then, Ms. Hennel, you may step down from the witness stand and return to the gallery. The witness advocate, she needs some help to be let down.
Oops, oh dear. I'm sorry.
Oh, fucking hell. Oh, this is cringy shit.
Okay, please close the door. Thank you. We're outside the presence of the jury. Ms. Hennel is making her way down. Okay, deputies, if you could just check on, remove him and then check on his welfare.
Oh my days. Here she goes. She's like, what the fuck? Look at her. Let's go, girl.
Door. Door.
I'm so nervous.
She's still speaking.
Did you move that TV?
Yes.
It won't work? Okay.
everyone knows he's faking it, but they have to like do all this rigmarole. Oh my days. Oh.
Okay, we're off the record. Just take a break. Plan for about maybe 5-6 minutes, and we'll come back in the record.
I was going to say, right, this is something I know Bex would do. Hey. Right, we're going to the afternoon sessions. They took, that's a close view. They took a bit of a break there. So now we're going to go to part 2 of the day. Bear with me. I'm going to play a 1.25 because it's a little bit slow. And I don't think Dave is here, so...
Timothy Olson appears in court, in custody, in person. He is in a wheelchair wearing orange jail garb. Also appearing with him is standby counsel John Vasilevsky.
Good afternoon to everyone. Deputy, is it correct that Mr. Olson was offered two separate incidents, offered an opportunity to change into street clothes?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. All right, thank you. And Mr. Olson remains in his jailhouse clothes, which is his choice. But I think some things are important to place on the record to ensure that the record is accurate. In my observation of what transpired this morning, I observed that Mr. Olson was continuously holding his forehead with his eyes closed, at times turning to look towards the gallery where the media camera was, and still is, and at times tilting his head back. Throughout the trial, Mr. Olson slowly slid into his wheelchair. During Ms. Hennel's testimony, Mr. Olson at times will tilt his head back and through squinted eyes look at the witness while keeping his hand on his forehead. I think if you're seated in the jury box, you might think that there wouldn't be a good view of his eyes, but from my viewpoint, I could see that he was through squinted eyes looking at the witness. Also, Mr. Olson would gaze around the room in a survey type of gaze, and in 3 instances, Mr. Olson made contact with the court. And my understanding and view from that contact was that it was an acknowledgement of my awareness of his silent conduct. Several times, Mr. Olson would gaze toward the gallery and then look back and tilt his head, and he did so for a prolonged period of time, which resulted in his removal. And this all occurred during Ms. Hennel's testimony. Before Mr. Olson was ultimately removed from the courtroom, he had removed his hand from his forehead while keeping his head tilted back. And from my viewpoint, it looked like he was attempting to control or restrict his breathing. Eventually, he started dry heaving, and the court then interrupted Ms. Hennel's testimony and called a recess. I note that because this is another attempt by Mr. Olson to delay this trial. This is Mr. Olson's dilatory behavior, and it increased during Ms. Hennel's testimony as it continued. As her testimony continued, his behavior escalated. Also, The court did observe that when Exhibit 8 was published, Mr. Olson did turn toward the TV near the gallery to view Exhibit 8 as well. And I point out to you, Mr. Olson, that time and time again, medical professional after medical professional, you've been cleared to proceed to trial, and this trial will go. Whether you engage in dilatory behavior or not, this trial will go. Obviously, if you engage in dilatory behavior, it will delay things a bit, but it will finish. And so I want to point out some things for you on the record to make it very clear that one, you remaining in jail clothes, and two, your theatrics in front of the jury may unfairly prejudice your defense. But there is very little control that the court can do aside from setting rules, which you're refusing to follow at this point, and for the court to remind you to be mindful of the possibility of unfair prejudice due to your own behavior. My understanding is that at 11:05 or about 11:05, Mr. Olson was medically cleared by the nurse in the jail to proceed, and he was brought up. Of course, by that time, I had already released everyone for lunch, and I think that that time was probably a good time for Mr. Olson to have some alone time and gather his thoughts. I understand that Mr. Olson was seen by the nurse and cleared, and that he was observed to engage appropriately and respond appropriately to the nurse when he was being evaluated. Eventually, as I stated, the nurse cleared him and gave him a stern warning to not engage in his shenanigans. He was taken down to the nurse in his wheelchair and then brought back up in his wheelchair, and he remains in his wheelchair. During that transport, Mr. Olson engaged appropriately with the deputies and was vocal. He was able to express himself. And once put in the bullpen, he was provided with food and 2 milk cartons. I'm assuming that Mr. Olson then had his lunch. Is that correct, deputies? Okay, so there's food provided for him along with beverage. Okay, all that is noted for the record. And Mr. Olson, I'm warning you that you shall not engage in such theatrics. If for some reason you do want to get my attention, you can simply indicate to the court by saying, "Judge, getting my attention," and at that point, I will remove the jury and then inquire with you as to what your request is. If it's during the course of examination, wait until your turn to ask for questions, which I have done so with all these witnesses by inquiring with you if you have questions or if you want to cross-examine. But that is the procedure I intend to follow, and I expect that you will also follow that. At this time, is there anything else for the record from state?
Just briefly, Your Honor, these disruptions could also result in his forfeiture of representing himself. And I know you've laid out the rules. This isn't exact. I don't know what to call this lack of participation, but the communicating effectively with deputies when he leaves, refusing to communicate these obstructionist behavior. In Wisconsin, an unruly defendant may and should be forewarned that dilatory or obstructive behavior can affect a waiver of his pro se rights. This is also United States v. Brock 159 F3D 1077. It's a federal court ruling, as well as Faretta, Faretta v. California, which notes that a trial judge may terminate self-representation by a defendant who deliberately engages in serious and obstructionist misconduct. That site is 422 U.S. 806 from 1975. I think that these delay tactics could borderline on obstructionist, and I understand that we're moving forward, and I don't want to put necessarily Attorney Wojciechowski in that type of situation to jump in, but it's very important that the state keep moving forward. We have waited, we have witnesses here, we have started this. I don't see this any difference that would happen either now or 6 months from now. I feel like the same tactics would be used. So I just want to put that out there as a reference for Your Honor in case this continues further.
And with those citations, Attorney Wojciechowski, if you can provide, or actually rather, I'll print out those cases that you cited. Can you give me those citations again off the record? Just write it on a piece of note and give it to Mr. Clerk, who will then pull it up. And then that will be provided to Attorney Wojciechowski, who then will have it accessible to and at defense table. And should Mr. Olson want to go through those cases and wants to talk to Attorney Wojciechowski, he is accessible to Mr. Olson along with those printed cases. So I'll have those cases printed. But even before those cases that were cited by the state, Mr. Olson, you were made aware of, you were given notice, you're given an opportunity to be heard, and I discuss in great detail the rules of decorum and contempt warnings with respect to you failing to respond, refusing to respond to the court. that would be a direct violation of paragraph 10, answer questions as asked or instructed by the court. You refuse to do that. So there's one violation right there already. As a reminder from yesterday, on six occasions or 6 times, you interrupted me when I was in the middle of discussing certain matters on the record. And you were reminded that that behavior is not acceptable and would run afoul of the court's rules of decorum. Yet again today, you have violated paragraph 10, failing to answer and refusing to answer questions of the court. Now, I remind you again that there are consequences to violations under the court's rules of decorum. And I'm keeping note and I'm keeping track of these violations. I remind you that there is the notice of graduated consequences we went over, and I made sure that you were aware of that and that you've received an opportunity to be heard on that. And also, of course, under the consequences of violation, there is the potential removal, and you are fully well aware of that. And today, the state cites to case law in support of what the court had laid out way before this trial even started. Okay, so I think that's enough for the record. We can now, it's 1:18, so we spent 18 minutes on the record, putting all those things on the record. Let's see if the jury's ready, and if they're ready, we should bring them in. Meanwhile, as soon as the citation's provided to the clerks, let me know. I'll print it out from Westlaw. Okay, we're off the record while we wait for the jury to be brought in. Again. See a total of 3 cases.
Okay. So they're filming through a glass. That's why it's blurry.
Just to reflect everyone's recollection, we were talking about the end of that evening. Is that correct? Is that what you remember?
I'm sorry, what?
We were in the middle of testimony, and we were talking about 7 o'clock in the morning about, or when you flagged down help.
Yes.
Yeah. So you stated that you flagged down one person, they drove away, and then you flagged down a second individual and they helped.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I just want to circle back on a couple of things. Throughout that evening, do you remember if you were on main roads or side roads or a combination?
Well, I would say we were on a lot of side roads. We were on some main roads, but not most of the time. Most of the time it was side roads.
Were they familiar surroundings to you?
Well, the side roads were not familiar to me, because by that time it was dark, and I don't know which side of town we were on. Could have been the east side, could have been the north side. You know, all the side roads look the same.
And were you ever physically touched by Mr. Olson during that time frame?
No, I would say no, other than the fact that he tried to shove the liquor into my mouth.
Was it only that one bottle, or were there other bottles as well?
Yeah, that I don't know.
Just can't remember that?
Well, I remember the bottles. I can't say if it was the same, or a different one.
Because this was all night long, correct?
Yes.
Was it dark out? Is that safe to assume?
Well, it didn't get dark out to maybe, I don't know, 6 o'clock or so. When he got into my car, it was 3 o'clock. It was light out then.
Good. And I'm just going to have the deputy show you a few photos right now.
Okay.
I'm showing you, the deputy's bringing up some photos. They're marked as exhibits number 2, 9, 10, and 11. And Ms. Hannah, we'll talk about them in order. So exhibit number 2, do you recognize anyone in that photo?
Well, yeah, I recognize me.
Me.
That's
And
me.
do you recognize the vehicle in that photo?
Yes.
Yes. Whose vehicle is that?
It's mine.
And was that the vehicle that you were in that evening?
Yes.
Yes. I'd ask that exhibit number 2 be moved into evidence.
Any objection? Hearing none, received.
And then exhibits number 9, 10, and 11.
Okay.
Do those items look familiar?
Yes.
Yes. And exhibit number 9, I believe is that the photo of your car again?
Yes.
Yes. And exhibits number 10 and 11, we discussed a Nook earlier, a Nook book reading device earlier. Is that your Nook reading device?
Yes.
Yes. That exhibits numbers 9, 10, and 11 be moved into evidence.
What was 11?
10 and 11 were pictures of the Nook.
Any objection? Okay, hearing no objection, all received.
Permission to publish for the jury?
Yes, you may.
And this is what we discussed as exhibit number 2, correct? Sorry, Ms. Handel. This is exhibit number 2, correct?
Yes.
Yes. And that's you inside of your car?
Yes.
And this was exhibit number 9.
Yes.
What vehicle is that?
That's mine.
This is exhibit number 10. What is this?
That's my Nook.
Nook. And exhibit number 11. What is this?
That's also my Nook.
Do you still have this Nook?
Yes.
Yes. Did you get it back from after the investigation?
Yes.
Now, Ms. Handel, do you use any dating apps?
No.
Do you even know what I talk about when I say dating apps?
Oh, sure.
Sure, but you don't have any?
No.
No, have you ever used them?
No.
No. I know you said your husband passed away, and I'm very sorry about that.
Thank you.
Have you had relationships since your husband passed away?
No.
No. Do you try to go out to local establishments to meet other men?
No.
No. Now, after you were flagged, held down, and a lot of police officers arrived, do you remember then talking to the detective that's sitting next to me?
Yes.
Yes. Do you know his name?
That's Brian.
Brian Zaleski?
Oh, yeah, no, if you say so.
That's fine. And then, but you call him Brian?
I call him Brian.
And then do you also remember talking to an officer, Mark Kernan, at the time of the events? And he wears a patrol. Do you remember talking to him?
If he was the first officer that came up to the car.
He was a Franklin officer, so I don't know if he would have been the first one that came up to the car.
Well, then I can't honestly say which one.
That's okay, because all the police officers wear uniforms, right?
Yes.
And you were in distress at that time?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to show you what has been marked as exhibits numbers 3, 4, and 5. Ms. Handel, I won't get into too much detail with those forms, but on exhibits 3, 4, and 5, do you recognize one of the signatures on those forms?
Do I recognize what?
One of the signatures on those forms?
Yes.
Yes. Whose signature do you recognize?
All of mine.
Mine. And is your signature on forms 3, 4, and 5?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And I can take those back for now if that's okay. Ms. Handel, do you remember how long you were at the scene of before you were able to leave?
Before what?
Before you were able to leave. When your car stopped and before you were able to leave, were you at that scene?
Oh, it was quite a while.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to say. A couple of hours.
For a long time, right?
Oh, yeah.
And just to be clear, did you ever know Mr. Olson before that day?
No.
No. Have you spoken to him since?
No.
Thank you, Ms. Handel. I have no further questions.
What's it?
I have no further questions. Thank you.
Okay.
And Cross? Mr. Olson, do you have any questions you'd like to ask? Okay, hearing no response. Thank you, ma'am, for your testimony. You may step down.
Okay.
Thank you. Officer Namesh, how are you employed?
I'm a police officer with the city of Greenfield.
And how long have you been with the city of Greenfield?
This is my 9th year.
I'm sorry. And then also too, I'm having a hard time hearing you. So if you just want to make sure you speak directly into that microphone.
Okay.
Thank you. The acoustics are always a little bit odd in the courtroom. So you said you were there for 9 years?
Yeah, this is my 9th year.
9th year. So you were employed in that capacity on November 24th, 2022.
Correct.
Do you remember responding to a call that morning regarding Ms. Hanel?
I do.
About what time did you respond to that call?
It was in the morning around 8:27-ish, 8:30 a.m.
And as you were responding, what were you expecting?
Well, I got sent to check on welfare. So,
A check on welfare?
yes,
What does that mean?
check on somebody's well-being, like what's going on and like,
Do you treat a check on welfare call differently than, for example, an abduction call?
oh, it's a different kind of call.
Yeah. Could you tell us about the differences in those calls?
So when you go on an abduction, you know what you're going to and what to look for and stuff like that. When you go and check on welfare, that means somebody's not feeling well and you're just there to check on them and see what's going on.
So when your SWAT arrived to check, basically just to check on Ms. Hanel, is that correct? Correct. Okay. So what location did you arrive to?
To South 108th Street and West Beloit Road.
What did you see when you arrived?
When I got on scene, I saw the white car was parked on the side of the, not even on the side of the road, it's like private parking lot or whatnot, like small like strip mall area. And the elderly, she was outside of the car.
Do you know the name of that older lady?
I'm not recalling, like, yeah.
If I said Betty Hanel,
Yes,
does that sound
yes,
right?
yes.
Yes. And you probably saw her walking past you today, is that correct?
I did, yeah.
Is that the woman you saw at the scene?
Yes.
Yes. Did you have any part of the investigation in identifying Mr. Timothy Olson?
No.
Okay. So you arrived to check on Ms. Hanel's welfare. What do you do first when you get there?
So when I got there, I asked what happened, like how she was doing.
What was her demeanor like?
She looked to me like she was lost, like overwhelmed. I would say she was dehydrated because when she was talking to me, her mouth was dry and it was hard for her to talk. She looked confused, and yeah.
So when you say her mouth looked dry, could you describe what that looks like to you?
So when she was talking, it's like what was hard for her to pronounce words because her like I don't know how to describe, like lips were like sticking or like tongue was sticking to her mouth, like inside of her mouth.
Sure. What did you do once you arrived and you started talking to Ms. Hanel about what happened?
So I talked to her for a little bit, and then just to make sure that she's okay, I requested a Greenfield Fire Department to come and check her out.
And the Greenfield Fire Department did come, correct?
Yes.
Yes. Did they give you any diagnosis at that time?
They did not.
They did not. Did you wear body camera when you were going to this welfare check?
Yep.
Yes. Was this body camera operational?
Yes.
Is it standard to turn on body camera for a welfare check?
So usually how our body cameras work, when we arrive on like whatever call it is, and we activating our like squad lights, the body camera is synced with the squad camera and it will turn on automatically. So, and I did turn on my squad lights because I was parked the way that my back of my squad was sticking out a little bit on the South 108th Street, and then I just activated my lights.
So your body camera went on because your squad lights went on because of how you were parked,
Yes.
not necessarily because of the urgency with which you went to the scene.
No.
No. Okay. 1 second. Can you see this screen, officer, or that screen there? We can always
I
turn.
would have to stand up.
Yes, you may step down to look at the screen.
Thank you. I've preloaded into my computer with electronic evidence a flash drive that I have marked as exhibit number 6. Can you tell if there is a file on this flash drive?
Looks like a file that says Nemish WC, which means body worn camera.
And if you want to sit down so we can hear the microphone while we chat about this, is it standard for police departments to submit body-worn camera to the district attorney's office for prosecution purposes?
Yes.
Yes. Is a file that is saved called body-worn camera, does it look like this?
Yes.
Yes. And I am just opening this file. And I started at the beginning. It is paused at 1 second. Did you see a name flash up on the screen as it was playing? What name was that?
Just recently?
Yes.
I think it was my name.
Your name. I know you can't see much, but do you recognize this file?
Yeah.
Yes. Could you tell us what this is?
This is a seatbelt.
This is a seatbelt?
Yeah. So usually when like the way my body camera is positioned, you can see it. It's like when I have seatbelt on, it will be like the lens will be covered with the seatbelt. So, and then you'll probably see in a second or a few seconds that I took my seatbelt off, and that's when you'll see the scene. Yeah.
So because you've reviewed your body camera, you know this is your body camera and your seatbelt. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. I asked that exhibit number 6 be moved into evidence.
Any objection? Okay, hearing none, received.
And I'm skipping forward to 18 seconds and starting to play at that point. And I'm pausing briefly at 28 seconds. Officer Nimesh, is this, do you recognize, is this your squad that you were using that day?
Yes.
Yes. And I didn't hear any sound. Is there sound with this body camera?
Yes, but usually why I did not hear any sound from the beginning, because when we turn it on, it's like 30 seconds delay. So when I turn on, it'll be like 30 seconds delay, and then you'll have a sound.
Okay.
So that's why, basically it will go back. That's why you saw my seatbelt on the screen.
Great, thank you. I'm pressing play again at 28 seconds.
Police department.
I don't know.
All right. I was driving down. My partner is almost here. Just talk to him, okay? Just because I can talk to 3 people. Did you know what happened?
I just drove by and saw something weird going on right here, so I was going back.
Okay. All right. Then you can take off. Thank you. What happened?
Okay. Yeah.
And I'm pressing pause briefly at 58 seconds. Did you know, could you describe what we just saw on that video?
So if you're looking at the screen, on the left, there's a car parked on southbound on 8th Street. And then the white car is in that parking. It's not a parking lot. It's kind of like private driveway or whatnot. That's where she parked. And then the other guy that's walking away, that's like going behind the businesses. That's the little strip mall.
Do you know the name of the 2 gentlemen that were there?
No.
No. Because your main role was to talk to
Yes.
Ms. Haino.
And I believe Officer Olson talked to the guy on the left.
Yes. And just to make sure we take turns when I ask questions and you answer so that Madam Court Reporter in front of you can make an accurate record. Thank you. I am pressing play again at 58 seconds.
Good afternoon. Casa de Giorgio's.
Casa de Giorgio's. It's downtown?
Ross.
Oh, yeah, on Fifth, like by the Aurora.
I just tucked in. I put a glass of wine. And so this guy at the bar, he started chatting with me. Saw nothing of it. And so I left.
Sure.
When I walked out, he pulled the passenger door open and got in and had a gun. And he said, he said, what? Although he never took the gun out of his pocket, but
He just said that he got a gun?
he said,
Okay.
he got a gun.
Okay.
And I had to drive.
Sure.
And drove me all over, all night, forced me to drink, or he was going to kill me. Okay, all night. And so I guess I got a real tipsy. I never drink whiskey. Never. Okay, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
So it's been all night.
Sure.
You know, and he said, you want to take me home? Well, I didn't want to take him.
Sure.
I didn't want to show him where I lived. And so we got in the general area, and I lied.
Okay.
And then he said, no, and that person I was stayed with, there were cars in the drive. And he told me, no. I said, all night he drove. Sometimes I fell asleep. And then a morning he drove me around some more, and he wanted my PIN number, but I don't have a PIN number. Yeah. Okay. And so I drove.
PIN number for what? For
the bank.
Okay.
A debit card. I don't have.
Okay.
A debit card. And so he took all of my money. I was going to about $50. He bought some whiskey.
Do you want to sit down?
I quit.
Yeah, just sit down. Sit down in the car.
Okay.
Yep.
Can I go in the front?
Yeah, you can go in front. Let me just shut off the car. You can sit down. We have ambulances on here, okay? To just check you out.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry.
Where is he now?
Well, he dropped me off here.
Mhm.
He took my purse and my cell phone.
Okay.
My charge card and all that.
Mhm.
And he walked off that way.
What did he look like?
Well, he was not totally Hispanic. Anything. No, his name was Mario, but that was about it. Tall, good cut shape. You know, sometimes he wears sunglasses. And
Yeah, you can sit down.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. You don't have to. Sorry. What happened?
I'm stopping at 4 minutes because what are we seeing now at the body cam?
hands.
Your hands, right? There were some noises in the background. What were those noises?
Like right before you turned the pause?
Yes.
That was her like sitting down.
And could you describe like why she was making those noises?
It appears to me that it was hard for her to sit down. Like she's elderly and like she was going backward into her car, and that was hard for her like to get like situated. What?
Yeah, and I saw you put your hands to the side and kind of wiggle a little bit
Yep.
down, and that's the action that she took.
Most likely, yeah.
Yes. And what did you think of what she was telling you at the time?
Well, at first, my first thoughts were, I'm dealing with elderly lady. She's talking about a lot of nonsense. She might have dementia or something like that. That was my first initial thoughts. I was like, something is weird here.
And by the end of the investigation, what did you think?
Well, she was consistent with the story. Like that was like, to me, it's like, okay, something is going on here. Because she's telling the same thing, like consistently, like with all the details and stuff like that. I was like, that's probably happened, like really happened. And at that time, and I think even before that, I asked, because custody Georgia is in Franklin. So that's why I asked for Franklin squads to respond to our location because the incident happened in Franklin.
Because your job as a police officer is to investigate, right?
Yes.
Yes, not really judge one way or the other, but just to do the investigation. So then you ask Franklin police officers to come in to look at Casa de Giorgio.
Correct.
So at some point, did this change from a welfare check to something is going on?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, I'm going to hit play again at 4 minutes where I stopped.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So we have the fire department coming just to check you out if you need it.
No, I don't.
No. Well, they're gonna check you out just in case, make sure that 70 footsteps. Can you contact Franklin and see if they had any complaints yesterday at the Casa di Giorgio Italian restaurant on Robson involving this female? She said that possible abduction happened there. She said Hispanic male told her, goes by name Mario. She walked that way. So yeah, like parking lot, like from behind the building. I didn't get descriptions on the clothes.
And then we'll come back and talk with you, okay?
All right. Okay.
Just a little confused?
Yeah. Well, she said she haven't been sleeping through the whole night.
Okay.
So that might be the. Are you tired, confused?
Are you on any medication? No. Okay. Do you live with anyone?
No, I have just.
Okay, yeah, but do you live with anyone there? Okay, please reach out to fire. Okay, yes, I'm here.
No.
Oh, no, you took my driver's license and my charge card.
Sure, you were the maid just to check her out.
Yeah, do you want to come in our ambulance real quick? We'll check you out in there. Is that okay? Are you okay walking?
So she said, conference.
I'm pausing again at 5 minutes and 52 seconds. Your hand came back towards your body. What did you do there?
And even said it's conference. So usually when we have to talk between officers, we're muting the body camera.
Did you ever turn back on the audio for your body camera?
I probably forgot.
You forgot. And is that something, it doesn't turn back on automatically? No. So there's no audio for the rest of this body camera?
I believe so.
I'm going to move forward then to (6 minutes and 57 seconds.
Sorry, 6 minutes in.
57 seconds. While we're looking at this, what's going on here?
So at that time, I believe we were trying to identify who she was because we cannot find her driver license or ID. So we were looking for her identification.
Did you ever find her driver's license?
I did not.
I'm stopping at 7 minutes and 54 seconds. Skipping forward to 9 minutes and 45 seconds.
I'm sorry, that timestamp again is?
9 minutes and 45 seconds. Officer Nemish, what are you doing during this portion of the video?
I'm searching the car. I'm probably still looking for identification.
Just a question. She said she was abducted. I don't notice gloves on your hands. Could you talk to us about why that is?
So at that time, I was still probably thinking that she's had dementia and making stuff up, because when she came back from ambulance and the Franklin officers arrived and we kind of discussed what we had, then at that point, I probably realized it was abduction, like real abduction. But at this point, I'm still working on her identification. I did not believe that's her socks. Did not believe that I was involved in anything.
I paused at 10:40 and I'm backing up to 10 minutes and 33 seconds because I think you said something in the middle of your sentence. At 10 minutes and 33 seconds, what are you pulling up there?
That was her socks.
So I paused at 10 minutes and 36 seconds. Why is that important?
So I believe when I got on scene, she did not have her sock on. And then when I found a sock, I was like, kind of like, why we have this sock here, not on your feet?
So when you came, just how many socks was Ms. Hanel wearing when you arrived on scene?
I believe it was one.
One. Was she wearing shoes?
I cannot recall.
But just one sock?
Yes.
Okay. I'm pressing play again at 10 minutes and 36 seconds. Did you remove anything from the vehicle?
I don't think so.
Oh. Besides that purse or that wallet that we saw you going through,
I don't
right?
think so. I'm not recalling, yeah.
So did you put it back in the vehicle?
If I took something like out, I put it back.
I'm stopping at 11 minutes and 28 seconds. Again, what was the point of going through her vehicle?
Just to find her identification.
Okay. And then I'm skipping forward to 17 minutes and 8 seconds. What am I looking at here?
This is front of the ambulance.
And who is in this screenshot?
That's two Greenfield firefighters or paramedics and Officer Olson and victim lady.
And I'm pressing play at 17 minutes and 8 seconds. What are you observing in this video?
She's hard to walk.
I'm stopping at 18 minutes and 9 seconds. How long were you on scene for this investigation?
I cannot recall. I think at least an hour.
And how did you end up leaving the scene, and how did that happen?
So I believe Franklin officers arrived on scene, and that's when the scene was turned over to them.
And then you just left?
Yes.
Yes. No further questions. Thank you.
Cross? Mr. Olson, would you like to ask questions of the witness? Okay, hearing no response, I'll take that as a no. Thank you, officer. May step down. State, please call your next witness.
Yes, the state calls Robert Hanel.
For the record.
Robert Hanel, ROBERTHANEL.
Thank you. Mr. Hanel, who's your mother?
Betty Hanel.
Betty Hanel. And do you know why we're here today?
Yes,
Could you tell us why we're here today?
we are here today because on, I don't remember the exact, it was Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving, November 2022, she left a restaurant in Franklin, Casa de Giorgio, after she was there and spent some time there and left. And when she was going to her car, she was abducted and driven around the city of Milwaukee for 15, 16 hours.
When did you first find out about this abduction?
It was Thursday, Thanksgiving morning.
And how were you informed that something may have happened to your mother?
Greenfield police was at my door at about 8:45 in the morning.
And why were they there?
They were there because they had to inform me about my mother being abducted and left at around, it was a Highway 100 in Beloit. It's a plaza, like a strip mall plaza. She was left and, just left there, and she had to flag someone down to get help, and then police came, and then they came to inform me.
What did you do once you were informed?
Well, I probably can't say it out loud, but I had to get ready and, drive over there to the scene.
Does your mom live on her own?
Yes, she does.
She does. And she did back in 2022?
Yes.
Yes. Do you see her on a daily basis?
Yes.
Yeah. And what type of health is she in generally?
She's in good health.
Good health. And fairly able to recall events, and you don't worry about her on
She's extremely sharp.
extremely sharp. When you arrived on scene, what observations did you make of your mom?
Well, obviously she was upset, and she had to collect herself, and then she had, explained what happened. But obviously she was, had to like collect herself and really, she's like, a lot happened in the last 15 hours driving around, with someone you don't know, and doing, trying to force you to do things that you don't want to do. So
very upset.
she was upset.
Was it difficult to see her that way?
Yes.
And then additionally too, were you aware if her credit card or bank cards were used?
Yes and no, because that can be replaced.
Yeah, but were you aware that they were used that evening?
Yeah. Yes, she told me.
And then did you help her look into that as well?
Yeah. Yes, but she's pretty self-reliant, and she took care of it all on her own. Okay. But I mean, I knew what was going on.
Does anyone live with your mom?
No.
No. I have no further questions. Ross?
Mr. Olson, would you like to ask questions of this witness? Hearing no response, I take that as a no. Thank you, sir. You may step down.
And please state and spell your name for the record.
My name is Thomas Lynn, as a police officer.
Where is the town of Lynn?
It's right next to Lake Geneva.
Thank you. How were you employed in November of 2022?
I was employed with the City of Franklin Police Department as a police officer.
And were you involved in the investigation of Timothy Olson?
Yes.
What was your role in that investigation?
My role in that investigation was to do a photo lineup.
Could you tell us what a photo lineup is?
Sure. We get random photos selected, with one being the suspect. They put them all together, and somebody that doesn't have any stake in the case, hasn't seen the person or victim, usually delivers that to one of the people that would have seen the suspect.
Okay, and we'll just back up a little bit. You had no other role in the investigation except to deliver this photo array, is that correct?
Correct.
When you say you randomly pick photos, one of the suspect, how does that process actually work?
Somebody else makes the photo array for me. So they gave me the photo array in the different folders with all the pictures. And I went there. It's essentially like a double blind experiment because I don't know him.
Because you had no idea what Mr. Olson looked like at the time?
No clue.
No clue. Did you even know what type of investigation this was for?
Not really, no.
Not really. Okay, and then you said you put all the full pictures together, but that's not really what happens, right?
That's not what happened. Somebody handed me the folders, and they're just all put together and said, deliver this photo array.
How many folders are there?
8.
8. And are they like, and I'm holding up a pretty plain manila folder. Is this what you mean by folders?
Yeah, manila folders, just like that.
Manila folders. What is inside the manila folders?
Photos of people.
How many photos are in each folder?
1.
1. So 1 photo per folder.
Mm-hmm.
8 folders. How many photos are there actually?
There's 6 folders with photos inside of them.
And I'm not very strong at math, but does that mean there's 2 empty?
That's correct.
That's correct. Okay, thank you. And is there a particular order that the folders are shown to the person that is looking at the manila folders?
You just go folder 1, folder 2, folder 3. There's no real particular order to the folders.
Are the blank folders in just randomly, or are they in a particular spot in the lineup?
For this particular array, both empty folders are at the end.
At the end. Do you know why that is?
I really couldn't tell you, to be honest. No, I don't.
Because someone just hands you this and then you go do a photo array.
Yep.
Okay. How many photo arrays did you do for this investigation?
I just did this one.
You just did 1. And do you remember the name of the person that you did the photo array with?
It was the owner of Casa de Giorgio. Adrizzi is his last name?
Adrizzi, I-D-R-I-Z-I. Does
Yeah.
that sound right?
Yep.
Okay, and I'm going to have the deputy help me out and give you what I have marked as exhibit number 7. Deputy, there's several pages in there, so if you want to take them out. And then, yeah, flip them over, too, please. Thank you. You're now holding exhibit number 7?
Yep.
Is that correct?
That's correct.
Do those papers look familiar to you?
Yeah.
Yes. Why do they look familiar to you?
These were the photos that I was given for the photo array.
And the first page, or I should say, how many pages are there?
With the photo array instructions,
Yes.
7 pages total.
7 pages. And page number 1 is what?
The photo array instructions.
And pages numbers 2 through 7 are what?
The different photos used in the photo array.
And what is the purpose of the photo instruction page?
So it's given correctly to the person. So, sorry, I'll start over. The instruction page is given so I can read this verbatim while I'm doing the photo array, so it's done in the correct fashion.
And did you read that page verbatim to Mr. Adrizi?
Yes.
Yes. And the photos 2 through 7, how do you know that those are the photos that you showed Mr. Adrizi?
Because these are the ones that were placed into evidence after I conducted the photo array.
And on the back of any of the photos, is there any notations?
Yes, I believe on the back of photo number 3, there is a signature with a 50%.
Okay. And why is there a signature on the back of that photo?
When he selected the photo, I had him sign the back and then put how sure he was that this was the person.
I'd ask that exhibit number 7, is that correct?
Yep, number 7.
I'd ask that exhibit number 7 be moved into evidence.
Any objection? Hearing no response from defense, received.
And permission to publish to the jury.
You may.
Now, officer, after you give a photo array, I'm holding up what is this?
That's an evidence bag.
An evidence bag. So for ease of matter, this evidence bag was pre-opened. Is this evidence bag typically what you put a photo array in after it's administered?
Yeah.
Yes. And what happens to that evidence bag?
That evidence bag will get sealed. It's heat sealed on both sides. I initial all the seals, put the date on there, put it into a locked evidence locker, and then it goes into our sealed evidence room.
Thank you. And I'm putting on the screen what was marked as exhibit number 7. Does that look familiar to you?
Yes.
Okay. And those are the instructions you read verbatim?
Yep.
Is that a yes?
Yes, sorry.
And then whose signature is at the bottom?
That's my signature.
Thank you.
And my badge number is next to it.
And then I'm showing you the back of the photo that was signed. Does that look familiar to you?
Yes.
Yes. And who signed that back?
The owner of Casa di Giorgio, Adrizi. He signed it back and he put the percentage of how sure he was.
And then this is the individual that he picked out at 50%. That was.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Do you know who this is?
Yes.
Who is this?
That's Timothy Olson.
Have you had any personal contact with Timothy Olson?
No, not. He came back into our booking area after, and I saw him back there briefly, but I was just walking through.
Did Mr. Adrizi pick out anyone else during this photo array process?
No, I believe he stated that his eyes were what gave Mr. Olson as the suspect.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
Cross. Mr. Olson, would you like to ask questions of this witness? Hearing no response and seeing no indication. Thank you, officer, for your testimony. You may step down.
Okay, my name is Rex, R-E-X, and the last name is Idrizi, I-D-R-I-Z-I.
Thank you. Mr. Adrizi, just so you know, that microphone is very bendable and moves, so feel free to move it around so you don't have to reach up for it.
Okay, that's fine. No,
Okay,
I'm good.
thank you. Mr. Adrizi, do you own an establishment?
Yes.
Yes. And what establishment do you own?
Casa di Giorgio Italian Restaurant.
I'm sorry, what was that second part?
Casa di Giorgio Italian Restaurant.
Oh, Italian restaurant. That's the part I missed somehow, so I'm sorry about that.
no.
And where is that located?
3137 West Rawson Avenue, Franklin, Wisconsin, 53132.
Thank you. And that's in Milwaukee County, correct?
Correct, yeah.
Yes. And how long have you owned that restaurant?
Well, I've been over there 20 years now.
20 years now. Tough job owning a restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then do you know why we're here today?
Yes, I do.
Yes. And why are we here?
I'm here to testify,
Testify, right? And we're here to talk specifically about November 23rd, 2022.
That is correct.
Do you remember something unusual happening on that day?
Yes, I do, what happened inside the restaurant,
Right.
And
So do you know a woman by the name of Betty Hannell?
yes, I know very well. She's still is my customer, She has been coming forever over there. And she was married, her husband died. And after that, changed a little bit. When I say change means, she was coming a little bit rare, but always when the time was quiet in the restaurant, sometimes lunchtime, sometimes, 3 o'clock because I had lunch and dinner at the time, by herself and sit down in a bar. She liked that. She had the book. She can read the book. Not too much talking to the other people. Even was quiet, and can stay, have one glass of wine, read the book, 45 minutes, 1 hour, and go.
And was that her typical habits?
Exactly. Lately, yes.
So-
After her husband died, yeah.
After. And so on November 23rd, 2022, nothing different. That's what she.
No.
Yeah. So as we're talking about that date, does Casa de Giorgio have any cameras on their premises?
No, unfortunately, no.
No. And do you remember, do you know a man named Timothy Olson?
Yes, I know I'm saying, when I say I know, I remember what happened the day with this guy,
You remember what happened that day. So could you describe what happened that day?
Was very simple, I was in a bar and no customers, nobody was around, and I see a nice gentleman walks inside, dressed nice, handsome, and approaches me and says, I really like something very, very quick, he said to me. And can I sit anywhere? And he got one table in the corner over there. I sat down, and if I can get something, because he said, my uncle is in a clinic over there, and because we are next to the Aurora clinic, and he's for surgery, and I have to wait a little bit. Oh, no problem. It was really very common way that he told me, because I get a lot of people like that, when they come to the restaurant. And I sat down right away. I jumped, I gave him the first drink. And after that, I gave the second drink, everything was fine. And the lady walks inside. Nice, quiet, and she sits in the bar.
And just to be clear, when you say the lady, you mean Betty Hannell?
Yeah, yes, my customer, yeah.
And so at that time in the restaurant, there was one person saying.
One person in the bar area, nobody, just the guy and the lady, walked inside. And I got the glass of wine, I give it to her, she pulled out the book, and always in her way, everything is fine, nice and quiet. And after 5-10 minutes, he asked me, can I go in the bar? He said to me, oh, why not? I said, this is very nice in the bar, you have the TV over there, stuff like that, and he moved from the table to the bar. And it was like 3-4 yards, from not next to her, but because, just a little bit distant. And he was having his drink. She was in her way over there. And I started kind of very friendly conversation. And it drew my attention because I never seen this woman, always stays in her way, And talking, very nicely, nothing. I'm doing my things over there. Somebody can go on the other side, have a lunch, But in this area, it's just me and these two people, And after that, I saw he got close to the lady, very, very close. Like here, I'm here, she's here, and talking. It's no question. Everything is nice and polite, and I'm not paying attention because I'm doing my work over there, cleaning and stuff like that. And I'm not exactly, but probably like maybe 45 minutes was this or 1 hour, And I see now she gets up, she paid. Or actually, she said to me, I'd like to pay. She paid her bill, and then she's going. I'll see you next time. And the guy approached her, and they went together outside. And I didn't have any concern, but I looked like very nice gesture, that he's helping her outside. And that's it. And I'm waiting for the guy to come. There's no way. And I thought maybe something happened to the uncle. He got the phone call, my guess now, and went to the clinic, And I'm waiting around 6:30. Still, he never showed up back, because he had had the bill to pay, And I said, didn't look to me, this, And after that, I closed the restaurant. He never showed back.
And he never came back?
No.
Had you ever seen him before?
No, that's the first time. No.
That's the first time.
Yeah.
And you never saw him again?
No, never seen. No, never seen before. Never saw again.
Do you recognize him here in court today?
I don't know where is he.
No.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yes. Yeah. I see it now. Yeah.
Where is he seated and what is he wearing?
Or is it here? The orange. Yeah. Yes. I recognize.
You pointed pretty much right in front of you, a little bit to your left, right?
Was that?
You pointed in front of you and a little bit to your left. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yes. May the record reflect identity of the defendant.
Any objection? Okay, the record shall.
And then I'm showing you what has previously been marked as exhibit number 7, or two pages of that. Mr. Idrisi, do you remember going through some manila folders with a police officer?
Yes. Yeah. They arrived, in a restaurant probably Friday, because the next day was closed.
Okay. So about November 25th, they arrived in the restaurant?
Correct. Yeah.
And you went through some folders?
Yes. They said to me, can you describe? I said, that's very nice. A little bit nice height, like 5 feet, 5'10", whatever I can guess, and like Italian, a little bit of dark face, very light, and nice hair. I said, dressed perfect, very, very, very polite, and they went through some photos over there. I said, really, it's very hard. I got concentrated in one. I'm 50-50 because really I couldn't say anything unless I was, because you don't pay too much attention when people walk inside, That's the thing. To see in the detail,
Yeah, and exhibit number 7 is sitting on that shelf right there.
Okay.
The first page, do you recognize your signature on that page?
Oh, yes, everything is fine.
Yes.
I recognize everything, yes.
And then on the back of the photo, could you turn that photo over?
Yes, yeah, yes.
And what's on the back of that photo?
11/25/22.
And whose signature is on the back of
It's
that?
mine. It's mine. Oh, yes, they brought this on, and I said, that's the guy. Yes, yeah.
Thank you. I don't have any further questions. Thank you.
Okay, Cross. Mr. Olson, would you like to ask questions of this witness? Hear no response. I'll take that as a no. Thank you, sir. You may step down.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
And members of the jury, at this time, we're going to take a break. We've been going for a little over an hour. And so you should plan for about 10 minutes, a little over 10 minutes, maybe 10 to 12 minutes for your break. I remind everyone that this case is not concluded. Therefore, you may not talk about your experience. You may not talk about the state is calling their witness. If it is a matter that requires my immediate attention, I will address it. But at this time, let's proceed with the trial with the state's next witness. I will take a break. Finish with Mr. Idrisi. And so, state, please call your next witness.
Yes, the state calls Officer Mark Hernan.
Judge, my Uncle Soul is here next to me, just talking to me.
Okay, Mr. Olson, the state is calling their witness. If it is a matter that requires my immediate attention, I will address it. But at this time, let's proceed with the trial with the state's next witness. I will take a break in due time, and at that time, I can address any concerns or needs you may have.
Please raise your hand. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please state and spell your name for the record.
Officer Mark Hernan, MARKHERNON,
Thank you. Officer Hernan, how are you employed?
with the City of Franklin Police Department.
And how long have you been employed with Franklin?
Roughly 25 and a half years.
Long time.
Yes.
Getting close to retirement?
Yes.
Yes. Were you working on November 24th, 2022?
Yes.
Yes. And what was your assignment in the morning that day?
I was on routine patrol, so available for calls.
What does that mean?
That I have a marked squad that I'm patrolling the neighborhood, patrolling the streets, waiting to be dispatched to calls for service.
And at approximately between 8:30 and 9 a.m., were you dispatched to a call for service?
Yes, I was dispatched to about on Highway 100, about the 3800 block.
If I said it was 3833 South 108th Street, does that sound about correct?
Yes.
And 108th Street is commonly referred to in Milwaukee as
Highway 100.
Highway 100, right? Why were you dispatched there?
I was supposed to meet up with Greenfield officers that were on scene, taking a call of a possible kidnapping.
Were you the only squad to respond to that scene?
Initially, yes.
Yes. Were there any other jurisdictions that responded to that scene?
Yes.
Yes. What other jurisdictions responded to that
I
scene?
believe it was City of Greenfield.
Greenfield. So just Greenfield and Franklin?
I believe so.
And how many squads eventually responded?
I'm not 100% sure.
Like just two of you or
From Franklin, I believe there was approximately two or three.
two or three? And then the two from Greenfield as well?
Yes.
And then were fire and EMTs.
Yes, they arrived on scene to assess.
So pretty busy.
Yes.
Could you describe what that area looks like?
It's predominantly a lot of businesses, strip malls, gas stations, retail shops.
And it's in the city of Greenfield. How familiar are you with that area?
Relatively familiar.
Okay, even because this is an obvious question. You work in the city of Franklin, but you're still familiar with that
Yes,
area.
yes.
Okay. Do you remember approximately what time you arrived?
I want to say about 8:30, 8 o'clock, right around there.
And if I told you your report says about 9 a.m., would that be correct?
That's correct.
That's correct. Okay. What did you do when you arrived?
I met up with the officers, the Greenfield officers on scene, spoke with them. They brought me to where the victim was, Betty, and which she was located in the car after she was assessed by the fire department and released.
And just a question, does the city of Franklin have body cameras?
At that time, no.
At that time, no. Do you have them now?
Yes.
Yes, but you did not have them in 2022?
No, we did not.
No. And just also to be clear, if this happened about 2.5 years ago, right?
Yes, in
Yes.
22.
Is your memory about what happened more clear now, or was it more clear back then?
Back then.
Back then. So when I referred to your reports, what's in your reports is fairly
Yes.
accurate?
Yes.
If I noticed a typo and in your reports you wrote 2023,
Yes. Yes.
I'm sorry, you just said yes. Why are you disagreeing with me?
I did see that when I reviewed the report that it said 2020 or 2023 instead of 22.
Is that just as in the legal terms, we call them Scrivener errors, but just a typo?
Just a typo.
How certain are you this was November 24th, 2022?
100%.
100%. Okay, thank you. When you arrived and you spoke to, did you ever speak to Betty Hanel?
Yes.
Yes. What were your observations of her appearance and demeanor?
She looked extremely tired, disheveled, upset, like she was through an experience.
And how many potential abductions have you investigated?
Throughout my career, probably around 5.
And how clearly was Ms. Hanel able to recall her events?
She recalled them quite well, in my opinion, for what she was through. She stated she was up all night, only sleeping part of the time.
And what time did she say this started?
She said that right around 3 p.m. or 1500 hours, she went to Casa di Giorgio for a glass of wine.
And then do you know what time she arrived at that location on Highway 100?
Approximately 8 o'clock or so, right around there.
So after you made some observations of Betty, what did you do next?
Just got the story from her on exactly what happened. If the person that she was with was still in the area and where he left or where he went or she went.
What did she say about where this person went?
She said from what she can remember that when he parked the vehicle, he got out of the driver's side door, threw the keys underneath the front seat and walked off westbound, but she didn't know where west. She just said west from the vehicle.
Were you ever able to locate the keys to the vehicle?
Yes, they were underneath the seat.
Underneath what seat?
The front seat, I'm sorry.
And was this a vehicle that was a turnkey ignition, push button, something else?
I don't recall.
You don't recall. What other types of, what else did you do while you were on the scene?
I took pictures of the vehicle and just collected the story and got the information from Betty.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as exhibits numbers 12 through 19.
I'm looking at Betty's vehicle, the Honda Accord. And
You're looking at photos of Betty's vehicle,
yes,
correct? Okay.
yes,
And is that how it appeared on November 24th, 2022?
yes.
So were you involved in processing any of the evidence from the car?
No.
No. So why take photos at the time?
To show how it was at the scene. That way it's taken, the pictures are taken of the interior of the vehicle before it's moved, before anything has a way of moving around if it's towed to the police department. We always want to take pictures of where everything was at that time.
Because could you talk us through the process of something like the vehicle? What is the process to get that into evidence or get the items in it into evidence?
Typically in this situation and situations like this, initial pictures are taken of the interior, exterior, and then we have a tow company tow it back to our police department into a secure bay where an evidence tech then processes the interior.
I'd ask that exhibits 12 through 19 be moved into evidence.
Any objection? I hear no objection. Received.
And permission to publish.
You may.
Thank you. Can you see this screen here, officer?
Yes.
Okay. I am first showing you what has been marked as exhibit number 12. What are we looking at?
Highway 100 and where the vehicle was located.
And
From the
can
signal.
you tell from the photo what direction that is?
My understanding that would be looking southbound down Highway 100.
And then exhibit number 13, what is that?
That is the victim's vehicle.
Was the vehicle moved at all before you arrived on scene?
Not to my knowledge.
So this is the location of the vehicle when you arrived on scene?
Yes.
Yes. And this is exhibit number 14. What is this?
The rear end or the rear of the vehicle.
And then you don't need to read it out loud, but the vehicle had a license plate on it?
Yes.
Yes. And then I am showing you what's been marked as exhibit number 15. What is that?
That's a photo of the rear seat of the vehicle.
And before, well, I don't want to make the assumption. Was this vehicle towed anywhere from the scene to a different location?
Before this picture was taken, no, this is where the vehicle was located. It was not towed or moved in any way.
What about after this photo was taken?
I don't know. This photo was taken on scene. I don't know if any other photos were taken of the vehicle at any other time.
Okay. But the vehicle was moved?
Yes, it was towed back to the police department.
Back to the police department. Do you pack up any of this stuff so it doesn't shift around during the towing process?
No.
No, just leave it as is?
Yes.
And let the chips fall where they may?
Yes.
Okay. And this is exhibit number 16. What is this?
The front driver's side seat of the vehicle.
Exhibit number 17.
The driver's side again with part of the passenger front seat.
Exhibit number 18.
And that would be the passenger seat, the front passenger seat.
And then on this photo, exhibit number 18, in your conversations with Ms. Hanel, did you ever talk about liquids or anything she had to drink?
Yes, she later told me that there was an orange bottle in the vehicle that the subject was drinking out of during the night that was not hers.
That was not. So why is that important?
With that information, I saw that an orange bottle was sitting in the front seat, took pictures of it to notify where it was at the time, that it was possibly
included or was possibly the subject's bottle.
Thank you. And then exhibit number 19. Could you tell us about what you see in that photo?
I remember taking that photo. It's like a hoodie or like a hat that was on the front passenger side of the vehicle.
I know it's not pulled out. Could that possibly be a sock too?
It could be.
When you're speaking to Ms. Hanel, did you notice anything about her clothing?
No.
No. Did you talk to Ms. Hanel about the use of a credit card?
Yes.
Yes. What did she say about that?
She said that during the night, while she was being driven around, the subject that was driving the vehicle asked for her credit card and money to pay for gas. She gave him she didn't say if she gave him the credit card, but the credit card was used to purchase gas.
Did she say she willingly gave that over?
No, she did not willingly give it.
Did you say she was forced to give that over?
She did not give it over voluntarily. I didn't say if it was forced, but she made it clear that it was not voluntarily given to the subject.
So you just watched the leading. Okay, thank you. I'm now going to show you what was previously marked as exhibits 3, 4, and 5. And exhibit number 3. What is exhibit number 3?
This is the Franklin Police Department consent to search the vehicle. Basically, it's just a form that we have the victim sign, just giving us consent to search the vehicle.
And you went through this form with Ms. Hanel and your signatures on it?
Yes.
I'd ask that exhibit number 3 be moved into evidence.
Any objection? Okay, hearing no objection received. Exhibit 3 is received.
And then exhibit number 4. What is exhibit number 4?
It's the consent to search form for computers, cell phones, and electronic devices.
And you also signed that form along with Ms. Hanel?
Yes.
I'd ask that exhibit number 4 be moved into evidence.
Any objection from defense? Okay, hearing no objection. Exhibit 4 is received.
And then what is exhibit number 5?
Consent to collect biological evidence, basically a swab.
And we'll go through these in a little bit more detail, but your signature is on that form along with Ms. Hanel?
Yes.
Yes. I'd ask that exhibit number 5 be moved into evidence.
Any objection from defense? Okay, hearing none. Exhibit 5 is received.
And permission to publish 3, 4, and 5.
You may.
Thank you. Officer Herning, can you see the screen? And if you can't see this one, it was okay for prior witnesses to get up. I assume it would be okay for you to get up to talk about this.
Yes, that's fine.
Okay. Again, exhibit number 3, you're familiar with this form?
Yes.
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 And could you tell us about why this form is used and what you use this form for? And then I'll zoom out a little from that.
That form is for searching of a victim's vehicle or consent to search a vehicle.
And why do you use this form?
Just to document and make sure that we have the subject's signature that it's okay to search the vehicle, that they gave us consent.
Did Ms. Hanel have any issues with you searching her vehicle?
No.
And then I'm showing you what we've talked about as exhibit number 4. What is this form?
That's consent to search electronic device. She had an iPhone, so she gave us consent to download the contents and information off the phone.
Did she have any issues or concerns about turning that over to you?
No.
No. How did you come in possession of the iPhone?
The iPhone was, from what I can remember, was turned over to me by Greenfield because they located it on Highway 100 up the road.
Or did they get it from someone?
I do not know.
Because you weren't involved in that, correct?
No.
You just received it from the Greenfield police officers?
Yes.
Yes. Do you remember which police officer turned it over to you?
I do not recall.
No. But you know that you received it?
Yes.
Thank you. What did you do with that iPhone once you received it?
Once I received it, it stayed with me the entire time. I transported it back to the police department, placed it into evidence.
Did you manipulate it in any way?
No.
No. Did you delete anything?
No.
No. Add anything?
No.
No. Are iPhones stored in any particular way?
They're stored in a bag, a protective bag.
What's that bag called?
I do not recall.
But why in a protective bag?
So it can't be remotely erased or broken into or hacked into.
If I called you, that was called a Faraday bag. Does that ring a bell?
Yes.
Yes. Did you place the phone in the Faraday bag?
Yes.
Yes. And then you placed that phone on evidence?
Yes.
Were you involved in the accessing of that phone on a later date?
No.
Do you know what happened to that phone for the rest of the investigation?
No.
No. Okay. Thank you. And just regarding these forms, do you read them to the victims or witnesses, or what happens?
I usually read it to them, and then I have them read it over before, and if they have any questions, I answer them.
Great, thank you. And then this is exhibit number 5. What is exhibit number 5?
That's the form for collecting DNA sample.
And you collected the DNA sample of who?
Of the victim, Betty. I did not collect it. The other officer did, Officer Fruski.
But that is your signature on the
Yes,
form?
yes.
Were you present during the collection of the DNA from Ms. Hanel?
Yes.
Yes. Did you have any other roles in this investigation?
No.
I have no further questions. Thank you.
All right, Cross. Mr. Olson, would you like to ask questions of this witness? Okay, hearing no response. Thank you, officer. You may step down. Okay, state, please call your next witness.
Yes, the state calls Officer Jason Ireland.
Judge, my Uncle Soul is next to me. He keeps talking to me. I don't.
Okay. All right, members of the jury, it's 3:11, but let's take a little bit of a break. Let's plan for about 5 to 6 minutes. I remind everyone that this case is not concluded. Therefore, you may not talk about this case and you cannot conduct your own research. Enjoy your break. I'll see you in about 5 to 6 minutes. Last one, please close the door. Okay, we're outside the presence of the jury. Mr. Olson, would you like a break? Okay, Mr. Olson stands mute and does not respond. Okay, Mr. Olson, what is it that you'd like me to know?
My Uncle Soul.
Make sure you use the microphone.
My Uncle Soul is here. My Uncle Soul is here next to me. He won't stop talking to me, and I don't know. He's asking me to do things, and
do you need any of that repeated? Okay. He's not asking you to engage in self-harm, is he? Is your uncle asking you to engage in self-harm?
No.
Okay. All right, Mr. Olson, it's clear to me that a break was probably due for you, and so I released the jury for the next several minutes. And I'd like you to take the opportunity to just compose yourself. I'm not going to tolerate your antics. As I stated before, time and time again, medical professional after medical professional, you've been cleared to proceed to trial. And the state has called many witnesses, during which time you were offered the opportunity to ask questions of your own, and you are selectively choosing when to speak up and when not to. And that's your choice. But what I will not allow you to do, and this is an order of the court, is for you to make such statements, engage in such antics to protract this case. Is that clear? I believe I've given you enough warnings already, and I remind you that the rules of decorum remain in full force and effect.
Could I speak to a counselor?
Okay, let's have Mr. Olson brought back to the bullpen. We'll go off the record for the next 4 minutes or so. Okay, we're off the record. Same appearances before with Mr. Olson. Mr. Olson was offered an opportunity to change into civilian or street clothes, and he's not changed. And he was also offered water. Okay, State, my question to you is, how many more witnesses do you plan to call? It's 3:23. I just want to plan accordingly.
We were moving so quickly. I have almost everyone here.
Okay.
So it's up to you, Your Honor. I am adaptable.
I think that if you're able to rest by 3:45, 4 o'clock, I will then plan on sending the jury home the remaining hour of the day. We can then discuss, I can then have a colloquy with Mr. Olson relative to his presentation, which could start tomorrow.
May I have 3 minutes? Well, my concern is that I have citizen witnesses here who have been kind of back and forth all week. I would be calling them out of order. And while I care about my professional law enforcement witnesses, and there's 3 of them here for the burglary. So normally I would get called, it would be okay to call them out of order. I'm a bit concerned in this situation. So if I could do them out of order, I think I can set a decent foundation. I would prefer to get 3.
Okay, let's just do it this way for planning purposes. You'll have the rest of the day, hopefully by 4:30 then, to finish your presentation and rest.
I'm fine calling just the 3. As long as I can get the 3 on, I can send, I'll keep other people around, but
Okay. Well, let's just put it this way. When you rest on the record, after you rest on the record, I will send the jury home. And then whatever time we have left, we will, I will work with the parties on one, the court having a colloquy with Mr. Olson, and two, the jury instruction conference, just a preliminary discussion of the jury instructions so that Mr. Olson can be given printed versions of what I plan to use and go over those jury instructions before we have the full-blown jury instruction conference and verdict forms. That's my intention of using that the rest of the day, the rest of the time.
I'm thinking.
Okay.
Okay.
Just
Well, and then I think what would be best is if you want time at the end of the day, let me call the citizen witnesses. I'll send the law enforcement officers home. It's 3:25 right now, so I should be able to be done with those about, I'm guessing honestly by 4 or a little bit later, and then we'll just start going through everyone else tomorrow. That's fine. They'll be out of order. They'll be a little mad at me, but I'm used to it. So that's
okay.
Fine.
I don't want to dictate how you want to call witnesses, but effectively, you can have the rest of the day. It's just I think let's plan on 4:30 ending the day.
I'd rather do it one way or the other. I'd rather call the 3 citizens and let all the law enforcement go, or I'd rather start flowing through I'd rather just call the 3 citizens and then end there. So I don't want to do a hybrid because I think then it would get more confusing. So if that's okay with you, Honor, I would prefer to do that, and then we can end early to have the conference like you suggested.
Sure, and I want to at least put Mr. Olson on notice on what the jury instructions are that I plan on using, and that's why I wanted a little more time than usual before we actually hold the jury instruction conference. All right, now, Mr. Olson, I'm going to turn to you because you started making a statement, and then I told you that we're not on the record and to wait until we go on the record. So now that we're on the record, you have made a mention or something about a therapist. What would you like me to know about that?
I don't remember what I said. What did I say?
Okay. Time was given. Yeah, go ahead.
My Uncle Sol is here, and he's a deputy too, and he keeps talking.
But make sure you use the microphone.
He keeps talking to me, and it's he keeps telling me to do things, and I want to speak to a counselor or a psychiatrist, or my head hurts really bad. The room spins most of the time. I can't focus. I'm seeing double. I feel.
Okay, well, Mr. Olson, I will ensure that the deputies, when they take you back to the jail, that you are seen by the nurse yet again. But with respect to your request to see a therapist or a psychiatrist, I really have no ability to order that kind of service. It's within the province of the medical staff in the jail relative to what your needs actually are. You were seen over the lunch hour, well, actually before the lunch hour, rather, and then you had the lunch hour to compose yourself. But you were seen by medical staff in the jail, and you were cleared to proceed with the trial. You were brought back, and then we continued with the trial this afternoon. And so I will just know for the record, too, that during the course of examination of the witnesses this afternoon, Mr. Olson remained seated in his wheelchair at defense table. He did turn his body towards the court at an angle relative to the jury box. So his left side was pointed towards the jury box, and his full front was directed towards the bench. And he remained in that position for the vast majority of the time. And this afternoon, Mr. Olson did a lot better relative to any silence behavior or conduct that could be viewed by the jury as distracting. And so that's that for this afternoon. But I will make sure that the deputies, when they take you downstairs to the jail, that you are seen by medical staff, and then the medical staff can, in their own professional discretion and judgment, treat you as they deem necessary.
The nurses at the jail and the staff at the jail, they don't like me. They retaliate against me. So they're not gonna treat me or do anything.
All right, that's noted for the record. I trust that they will abide by their professional obligations. I will be made aware of any issues, concerns, as I always have in the past, relative to anything that may have come up. Okay, let's go ahead and bring in the jury and continue.
Can I have 2 minutes to release all my officers?
Yes.
Okay, I'll go grab people and pop back in. Thank you.
I would like to ask why.
Mr. Olson, the state's not in the room. You have to wait.
What?
Yes, we're, oh, actually, I'm sorry, just 1 minute. State's not here. Actually, yeah.
Can I ask a question?
State's not here, so technically we're not going to have the other record yet. So, okay, just a moment.
I just want to know why my face keeps swelling more and more.
Wait.
Right.
Okay, just trying to help. Oh, I'm ready. I think back on the record outside the presence of the jury. Real quickly, Mr. Olson, we have the jury waiting.
I just wanted to know why my head it keeps swelling more and more every day. When I wake up, I don't know if somebody's doing something to me at the jail or if I'm having more seizures or what's going on. It seems every day I wake up, my face is more and more swollen. My head it hurts really bad. Everything's spinning constantly. I can't. Sometimes I feel like I can't hear.
All right, Mr. Olson, I've noted your questions, and I will make sure that the deputies relay those questions, your concerns, to medical staff when you're taken down to the jail. Okay, bring in the jury.
Yes. Thank you. The state calls Christine Endall.
Yes. Please state and spell your name for the record.
My name is Christine Louise Endel. You want me to spell the whole name or the last name?
The whole name, and then you can adjust the microphone. You can bring it closer, adjust the mic as necessary. There's a court reporter in front of you, microphone.
And
So it's a burglary of Jan Endall's residence. Are you familiar with that?
yes, I am.
And who is Jan Endall?
He is my brother.
And I'm sorry to ask you this question, but is Jan Endall still with us here today?
No, I lost my brother June 15th, 2023.
And we're here, and I'm very sorry about that. And we're here to talk about what happened on November 29th, 2022. Does that date mean anything to you?
Very much so.
And why is that?
I can tell you the whole event of that day. It started out, my brother, Jan, was disabled and he was in Ascension Hospital on 27th Street. That morning, he called me to be released from the hospital. Time was about 7:15 in the morning. He called, could you come pick me up, please? I said, sure, I will. I just had gotten out of bed. I said, I should be there maybe between 9:30, 10:15. I live in South Milwaukee, so I took the route of going Rawson West that day. And I was on 27th Street in Rawson. And I debated and thought, should I stop at my brother's house to get his coat? I really thought about it, and something told me not to stop there. And the estimated time of going to pick up my brother that day, about 20 to 10, something just said not to stop there. So I proceeded. I went to get him from the Ascension Hospital. He was ready to go. He was in a wheelchair. I had wheeled him to my car and thought he'll be okay because the car's nice and warm. And actually, it's not very far, the Ascension Hospital to 35th and Lawson. So I proceeded down Lawson. I had my brother released. At that time, I did see the police officers in a van on 35th and Lawson. This estimated time is, I want to say 10:15, 10:30. So I got to my brother's house. And I had to open up the side door to get the wheelchair out from his house to bring it to the car to get my brother out. I could not get that key into that lock. And a mess. I noticed at that time that the door trim was, looked like somebody had chiseled it. It was the frame, the wood. You could see it kind of, if you would take a hammer and a screwdriver, that door frame in the lock, there was something wrong. At that time, then I have a cell phone and I had called Franklin Police Department.
And Ms. Endall, I just want to ask you a few questions about this, right?
Yes.
Your brother was in the hospital. Who was in charge of looking over the house while your brother was in the hospital?
I took care of my brother. I looked over the house.
So even when he wasn't in the hospital, you looked over the house all of the time?
I took care of him. I would do his grocery shopping. He was unable to do that. So I took care of my brother.
Before that day, when was the last time you were at your brother's residence?
Before that day?
Correct.
It could have been the Saturday before that day because Saturday I would bring groceries. I'd stop during the week. It could have been the Saturday before that day.
Okay. So, and I don't have a calendar in front of me. Just a couple days before?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And did anyone have permission to be in that house besides you and your brother?
Absolutely not.
Did anyone have permission to take anything from the residence or the garage?
No.
No. And you were just as much in charge of the house as your brother and who could be there?
Correct.
Thank you. I'm just going to have the officer show you a few photos, okay? It's exhibits 23 through 26.
Room is spinning. I already said that I can't see. Right now the room's spinning. I have.
I'm sorry. Is Mr. Olson saying something? Mr. Olson?
The room is spinning, and he's showing me things, and I can't see. Everything's spinning. I have a severe concussion.
Okay. Mr. Olson, I want you to stop there, and let's take a break. Members of the jury, let's plan for about maybe 6 to 8 minutes. I remind everyone that this case is not concluded. You may not talk about this case, and you may not conduct your own research. Okay, enjoy your break. I'll see you in about 6 to 8 minutes. Okay, and last one, please close the door. Ms. Endel, I'm going to, we're outside the presence of the jury. Ms. Endel, I'm going to have you step down and meet with the advocate in the gallery, and she'll take you out into the hallway. Okay, now the witness has left the courtroom and has stepped out into the hallway. Mr. Olson, you indicated that your head is spinning and you're not able to see the exhibit that's being placed in front of you. Did I hear you correctly?
I'm sorry. What? I'm having a lot of trouble even focusing.
Okay, you really need to stop these antics that you're engaging in. What I'm going to do now is we're going to go on a break, and I'm going to ask, actually, you know what? I'm going to go on a break. I'm going to make a call. And when I come back, I'll have more instructions to the parties as to how we're going to proceed. But given your complaints, I'm going to address it. And then secondly, given what may come out of that, give you notice as to what I'm going to tolerate and not tolerate, because what you have continued to do is protract this trial, okay? One thing after another, one antic after another. This has got to stop. But out of extreme caution, I will address your expressed concerns of headache that you're experiencing. So we're gonna go off the record. I'm gonna try to do that. We're off the record. You can take Mr. Olson back to the bullpen. We'll be back in probably 5 minutes.
Great.
Okay, Amy, are you ready? Okay. We are back on the record outside the presence of the jury. Same appearance as before with Mr. Olson in the courtroom with us. All right, Mr. Olson, I do want to make it very clear that in the little time that I presided over your case, you are one of the few who are quite unique in the degree of antics you're willing to engage in. However, though, out of a great abundance of caution, I'm going to adjourn and release the jurors home, and then we'll start the trial tomorrow. I did make several calls to ensure that the complaints that you voiced relative to your condition are checked out by medical staff, and so that arrangement has been made. To that end, State, unfortunately, you'll not be able to continue the examination of Ms. Endel, and we'll continue tomorrow morning. I do plan on going early on the record, so I will order that everyone be ready here by 8, and that we be ready to go on the record at 8:15. However, though, if that, because this, obviously this is very fluid and it wasn't planned, if Ms. Endel or your witnesses cannot be here to go on the record at 8:15, I will accommodate that, because obviously this wasn't planned and I don't want to inconvenience them any more than they've already been.
One of the citizen witnesses that hasn't testified yet is actually going to Chicago tonight, so they asked if they could be there here no earlier than 10. And Ms. Endall also stated that she 8:15 does not work for her as a person. So if you're okay with me interrupting her testimony and calling them later in the morning, that would be greatly appreciated.
Okay, but you'll have other witnesses you can call at 8:15.
I have about 15 other witnesses I can call at 8:15.
All right. So undoubtedly, Mr. Olson's behavior is affecting trial, and not just any part of trial, but state's presentation, and that's noted for the record. But Mr. Olson, like I said, I've made calls, and I've been informed that medical staff will meet with you and evaluate you and address any needs you may have. So we're going to bring in the jury, and then I'll release them for the day. This is now, interestingly enough, this is number one in terms of your interruption. I'm on the record and I'm talking, and I haven't finished yet. And the rules of decorum require that you do not interrupt, and you've interrupted me. But today, this is your first infraction relative to that disruption. Okay, so the plan going forward is we'll bring in the jury, and then I'll release them for the day. And then tomorrow, everyone is ordered to be here at 8, and we'll go on the record at 8:15. All right, Mr. Olson, what is it that you want me to know?
I forgot what I was going to say. I would like to request that I be seen by someone from outside of the jail. I have a severe concussion, and everything's spinning. I can't focus. I can barely hear most parts of the day. I can't function normally to defend myself at all right now. At all today, and I feel like I've been not coherent most of the day. And medical staff at the jail, they're just gonna not do anything at all. So
okay,
and I can't think of what I was gonna say something else, but I can't remember what.
All right, Mr. Olson, your request is noted on the record. I'm adjourning due to an abundance of caution, not because you get to dictate how this trial goes and when we take breaks and when you get seen by professionals, but out of an abundance of caution, the court is adjourning proceeding in this manner. That's not an indication for you to now put on the record your wish for what things you want to see happen. Okay, well, let's bring in the jury. I don't want to hear any more from you, Mr. Olson. We're going to release the jurors for the day. Now, okay, Mr. Clerk is now going to hand to the state a set of the draft, and I emphasize draft, jury instructions. One set is provided to Attorney Wasilewski, and one set is provided to Mr. Olson. Again, I'm just giving everyone a heads up. Please take the time you need to review what I've put together. This is a draft, emphasis on draft. We will have a jury instruction conference, and at that time, we'll discuss in detail what the parties' positions on relative to those jury instructions.
I'll be requesting consciousness of guilt slight, just so you know.
Okay, thank you. We're ready. Thank you. What I'm going to do is, as we moved you back and forth between the courtroom and the jury room, it's now 4:15. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to release you for today and order that all of you report to the jury room no later than 8 o'clock so that we can go on the record at 8:15. I trust that no one had any issue coming into the courtroom, jury room this morning, correct? Okay. And so you guys know where to find the jury room and whatnot. But I remind everyone that this case has not concluded. Therefore, you're not allowed to conduct your research. You're not allowed to talk about your experience. You're not allowed to talk about what you've seen relative to evidence and whatnot. I know that it's tempting when you go home tonight to turn on the TV and to talk to others about what happened, your experience, and what you've seen, but you may not do so, and do not watch any news relative to this trial. Okay, have a good evening. I will see you all here tomorrow at 8 a.m. and hopefully no later than 8:15. The deputy will collect your notebooks. Thank you.
Set a date. I don't know if I can somehow be accommodated with that, or if I should arrange with my partner to go, but I just thought I'd bring it to your attention.
Sure.
I can.
Your phone board. The presence of the jury. I think we put everything that we need to on the record. So as for today, we're done, and I'll see everyone here at 8 o'clock. Attorney Wasilewski?
Yeah.
Microphone, please.
I have an 8:30 court appearance tomorrow in front of Judge Crivello, and it's just to set a date. I don't know if I can somehow be accommodated with that, or if I should arrange with my partner to go, but I just thought I'd bring it to your attention.
Sure. It's just a scheduling, you said?
Yes.
I mean, I don't want to say it's just a scheduling. Of course, it's an important
It's the
hearing.
first appearance on a post-conviction case where we're going to set a post-conviction hearing date. That's all.
If you're able to get coverage, could you do that? And I can also reach out to Judge Crivello to let her know that I'm keeping you, I'm holding you. That way she doesn't
That's exactly
hold
the
it
step I
against
was
you.
hoping for if I can arrange otherwise.
Yes, I'll let her know that.
Your Honor, I just wanted to, sorry, it's really hard for me to focus, and I try and pay attention to some things when I can, but I just wanted you to know that none of this is antics. I mean, if you can take a look, I haven't been able to really look at my head in the mirror, but I could see reflections, and it's super swollen, and something's not right. My head spins most of the day, so I don't know why anyone would put out this narrative that it's antics. I've had a lot of.
Okay, Mr. Olson, I'm going to stop you there because this is not going to be an ongoing conversation between the two of us as to what you believe things are and what you wish it to be. Everyone has had a chance to make a record. I believe I've afforded everyone now.
So as you can see, tomorrow, he's all dressed up. So, and he's there signaling. So he is doing cross tomorrow. This is the cringiest. I struggle with this kind of stuff. This is why I couldn't do Darryl Brooks, because I struggle with this sort of thing. I really do. I just don't like cringiness. And this is all cringy. Do you know what I mean? I so struggle with it. I prefer somebody to be shouting than, you know, oh. So tomorrow's going to be a hard day, I think, because he is going to be crossing tomorrow. So, woo! So we'll see how that ends up. Let me see. I'll play a 1.25 tomorrow. I won't play a 1.5. Just I had to play a 1.5 there because it was getting too long. Do you know what I mean? But tomorrow should be, I think. Let me have a quick look here. Oh shit, that's why, because it's off. So technically, tomorrow will be about 6.5 hours, but that doesn't include breaks or anything. And also we'll play a 1.25. So probably it could be about 4-hour stream tomorrow. And then Wednesday's stream will be 7, 8, about 11 hours minus obviously breaks and stuff like that. So it'll be a little bit quicker. So it'll be a longer day on Wednesday than tomorrow, I suspect. But yeah. I did not expect this. I don't know why. I can't wait for tomorrow, though. I'll be honest. I can't wait for tomorrow, but you know what I mean. Anyway. Bex, yeah. I'd laugh at that. Right, that's the end of today anyway. So I'll leave that there. We will look at this tomorrow and Wednesday. We'll be done by Wednesday. So I know there's other stuff coming up for people. And I don't think I can stream on Thursday anyway. We had Mother's Day on Sunday. But I think we're going out for dinner Thursday because we didn't go out Sunday because my nieces were here. So we'll go out Thursday, I believe. So thank you for your company today. And I shall see you all tomorrow, bright and early. I'm going to go live at 9 o'clock. So 1 o'clock my time, Badaza, 1 o'clock our time, 9 o'clock Eastern time. I don't know when the clocks change, but then we'll be back at 2 o'clock my time. So yeah, so an early start for me and Badaza again tomorrow, but we love it, so it's not a problem. Thank you. Sarah P will be late, yes. She always is late, so thank you everyone, and go enjoy you whatever you do now, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Take care. Careful out there on the streets. Behave yourselves.